And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, if it's too hot, get out the kitchen. Panic attacks, my man. Really? Who do you think you are? Tony Soprano? Are you going to go to the therapist and have weird dreams about her? What's going on with that? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Boeing. You got a lot of problems. What's going on with your airplanes? We got wheels falling off. We got doors falling off. We got loose bolts. We got diversity, we got drag queens, we got a little bit of everything happening with this company. We'll talk about all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Ron DeSantis has dropped out of the race, as you all know, and has endorsed Donald Trump. What's next for DeSantis? Because I think his governorship is going to come to an end and there's term limits. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Nikki Haley claimed that she was constantly teased for being the only brown girl in her very small South Carolina town. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got Oakland issues, Fani Willis, we got the Texas border crisis and the razor wire. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live and Let There Be Light. There we go. Almost forgot that part. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy my content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. You can find it on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Now, we got a lot to get into. We got quite a few videos that I've not shown. We got a few new topics. We got breaking news. We got a little bit of everything. But first things first, shout out to the sponsors. You guys, of course, shout out to you. But, of course, shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser of choice and tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each video that I produce. And in the articles, you're able to find sources from the left, right, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the website for you, as well as videos and full versions and all of that good stuff. It's all right there on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Again, that is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. There you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All those good things are right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And as I always say, in every single stream, please be aware of the scammers. These guys do exist. They're trying to get your credit card information. They're trying to get your date of birth. They're trying to get where you live. They're trying to get all that stuff. And a great way to avoid them is to not send private information to anybody on these internets, even if you think that it's me, because I'm never going to ask you for some random weird piece of information. I'm not going to be in the comment section talking about, hey, email me on this random email. Okay, I live in Nigeria and it's 105 degrees in my hovel at hotmail.com. I'm not going to be emailing you from anything like that. I'm not going to ask you for weird information. I don't have expertise on Bitcoin or Forex or anything like that. I don't use WhatsApp. I don't have any of these random, weird, foreign traps to get you caught up. That's not what I do. So please be aware, it's not me, and don't get scammed. Don't nobody got no time for that. All right. Now, we got a whole lot going on. There is a lot to get into. I see you guys talking about some of the main things right there. Let me see. Rosemary says, unfortunately, DeSantis is coming back to Florida for the 3 years left in the second term of government. Why is it unfortunate? He's a very good governor. DeSantis is a great governor because everybody wants to go to Florida. That's part of what's causing the cost of living increases, insurance, housing, everything like that is because of the influx of people from all over the world, not just from all over the country, including New York, Chicago, Illinois, California. They're coming from all over the world to go to Florida. They want to go to Tampa. They want to go to Miami. They want to go Orlando. They want to go all over the state. Okay, maybe even Tallahassee or Jacksonville up in the north. Maybe even in the Alabama, Georgia, Florida. They want to go to Florida because of how good DeSantis is. Now, just because he's a good governor doesn't mean he's going to be a good president, obviously. You know, going out there in the campaign trail, you're looking like a deer in the headlights. It's such a big contrast between how he was when he was just, you know, the governor going out there talking. It's a big contrast from that to him running for president. I don't know why it happened like that. Whoever was on his team needs to be blacklisted from politics forever because they did a ridiculously poor job. I'm talking about really bad. I mean, how can you botch something like this so much? Now, hindsight being 2020, I don't think there was ever a chance for him to come anywhere close to Trump. However, there still could have been a better campaign. I mean, good grief. If you're going to lose, don't get stomped into wine. Don't get curb stomped when you lose. At least put up a fight. I mean, good night. But anyway, we got a whole lot going on. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. Now, speaking about good governors, I have a question for you guys. This is a real question. I won't do a poll. I'll just ask a question. From your point of view, it doesn't matter if you live in either place or if you don't. From your point of view, either living there or being on the outside looking in, who's the best governor between Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis? You guys let me know. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to do a poll. How about that? I'm going to do a poll. I've not done one in a while. Now, it's just between two people. There may be a third option, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just asking if you think one is better than the other. So Texas, Greg Abbott, and Florida. Okay, Florida, we're going to go Ron DeSantis, and let's let it rip. So a poll's in the chat, and the poll question is, between these two governors, now, I know there may be someone you think is better. Oh, my governor, Doug Burgum, is the best in the world, the best ever. That's great. But I'm asking about these two individuals, Texas Governor Greg Abbott or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And let's have that poll go on. And I might kind of, I might kind of poison the poll a little bit because I'm about to show a video of what's happening right now in Texas. That's the reason why I asked it, because now I'm going to show a video about Texas. So we saw the Supreme Court decision, right? The Supreme Court ruled in the 5-4 decision to allow the feds to cut the razor wire on the border. Now, that's a temporary thing. It's temporary because there's a bunch of court action about the border happening right now between Texas and the federales. So it may come back that they can keep the razor wire up. Maybe they can't, but for right now, the feds are allowed to cut the wire. Now, if I'm wrong and what I'm saying right here, let me know. What I didn't see was that Texas was not allowed to put the wire up. All that I saw was that the feds were allowed to cut it. Now, if I'm wrong in what I'm saying, y'all let me know. But that's an important legal distinction because it's one thing to say that I can't do something versus saying that someone else can. Just because they can cut it don't mean I can't put it up. You see? And the whole thing with the razor wire on the border, they said, oh, it's inhumane. And I think this is a lawsuit from the Biden administration against the Texas government. They're saying it's inhumane. It shouldn't be going on. But my thing is like, hey, if people didn't come to the border illegally, trying to cross illegally, then the razor wire wouldn't be a thing. Hey, here's what I say to those talking about, oh, they're asylum seekers, ABL. They're not illegal immigrants. Well, what kind of asylum seeker sneaks into the country illegally? Wouldn't you go to a port of entry? Why would you come through the razor wire? You see what I'm saying? That's bogus. What's happening is that the feds are creating ports of entry by cutting the wire and clearing little paths to let them come in. And then they bring them to a point of entry where they're processed as asylum seekers. But that's not what should be going on. If you want to seek asylum, you should seek it in your country of origin. Why you got to come way over here? If you live in a place where it's so bad, go to the first country that's close and safe. All right, you living in China and you want to be an asylum seeker. Why you got to come all the way across the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, however you got here? Why you got to come so far? You're not going to swim across like your main man Pliers, the rapper, said. Talking about they swimming across the ocean. Really? Is that what they're doing? They're swimming across the ocean? Okay, if you can swim across the ocean, then you got some of the best lung capacity, muscle capacity. If you can swim across the ocean, you are Aquaman. And last time I checked, Aquaman was a fictional character, but I digress. So let's show what Texas is doing as far as the razor wire. Remember, the Supreme Court said the feds can cut the wire, but Texas is saying, look, we're going to keep putting the wire up. All right. This is the concertina wire, what they're calling it, the razor wire on the border. And pardon me for this big block right here on the screen before you. I can't close that. So let's just watch this right quick. This is after the ruling from the Supreme Court, or the decision, whatever they said, that allows the feds to cut down the razor wire on the border. So shout out to them. And you see, you got the you got the containers, the big shipping containers as well. I say stack them containers as high as you can. Stack them all the way to the top and put the wire. I want maximum volume of razor wire, max volume, all the way to the top. Really, I say build the wall. I don't need sound because there's no significant sound going on, but I say build the wall up. Okay, Trump had the right idea, obviously, and under Trump, there was a lot fewer. I'm talking about maybe like 200% less, fewer crossings, illegal crossings, asylum seeking, or whatever. And to those who say, oh, it's about asylum, ABL, they're trying to seek asylum. Well, what was the big difference between 2020 and 2021 as far as the need to seek asylum? What event happened in the world after C-19 already happened to increase the need for asylum? What happens to where you got to have Africans and Chinese and Europeans and South Americans and Central Americans and everybody from around the world come to the country via plane, train, automobile, boat ride, whatever? What makes it such an imperative thing to seek asylum in the USA and nowhere else? Why? I mean, let's just stop the nonsense. It's just bogus. The federales are just trying to, really it's about the federales trying to replace regular everyday Americans, and they want the lower class. They want the lower class to take advantage of and do whatever they want with. It's very simple. Yeah, as asylum for what? Exactly. Asylum ain't no asylum. They're trying to seek financial refuge. They're trying to get money. They're trying to get paper. They're trying to get greenbacks, as the cool kids say. There's nothing about we're seeking asylum. Oh, you guys that come across got all kind of money. You got all kind of resources, and you come over here to get more. You're trying to maximize your potential financially. It's not even about trying to quote unquote seek asylum. Okay. You're trying to seek economic asylum. You're trying to seek paper. You're a paper chaser. But let's go ahead and get to my next thing here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, Michael Critchlow says, breaking, Arizona Republican Party Chair Jeff DeWitt has resigned for trying to bribe Kari Lake. Now, I have that video somewhere about Kari Lake. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. And thank you for the breaking news right there, Michael Critchlow. I appreciate you, boss. And I do have that video somewhere. It might be in my loaded up. Here we go, actually. Let's go ahead and play that right quick since we have. Now, I'm going to just double check that on Google to see if he resigned. And let me see. Okay, there we go. Boom. So I'm going to put this on the screen and then I'm going to play some of the audio. So here we go. This is on New York Times. This was posted about 2 hours ago, a little less than 2 hours ago. This was posted New York Times. This is recent, off the presses. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here. It says Arizona GOP chairman resigns after tape suggests, quote unquote, I'm putting the quotes there, but they didn't. After tape suggests attempt to bribe Kari Lake. The chairman, Jeff DeWitt, denied the conversation amounted to bribery and said Ms. Lake, a Senate candidate, had threatened to release another damaging recording if he did not step down. Well, look, okay, if you weren't trying to bribe her and she had more audio on you and you say that you didn't try to bribe her, then what was the other audio? If it was more of the same and you didn't do anything, then why step down? Why step down? Look, if it's me and someone says, hey, ABL, I got dirt on you, all this, that, and the third, I know they really don't have dirt on me. There's no dirt to actually uncover. So do whatever you want to do. You have nothing on me. Go ahead. I'm not resigning. I'm not going anywhere. But the fact that he did resign lets me know that she does have something on him. Okay. And if you're just now tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. The headline again, Arizona GOP chairman resigns after tape suggests attempt to bribe Kari Lake. Now, let's go ahead and play that audio right quick. This audio was posted today, but it came out before today. So let's go ahead and listen. And RIP headphone users, let's get a little bit of sound and let's rock and roll.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought?
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
So look, did you hear that? There's subtitles here, but you might not be able to actually see the screen right now. You can listen to audio only. He's like, is there a number? And then she finishes. She's like, which I can be bought. He was like, no, just pause for a couple of years. Now, if someone is asking you if there is a number at which you could pause for a couple of years, what does that mean? In the context of a political person, you want me to not run for a couple of years, take a break and just, take my foot off the gas and then come back a little bit later? Why would you want me to do that? What's the purpose of asking me that question? Let's start from the top and play a little bit more.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought.
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would even, that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me. So what's going on? What is, I'm assuming this is.
So do you think that he was trying to bribe her in this audio so far? Or do you think that it could have been taken out of context? Because I think it could go either way. It could go either way. She's saying that he is trying to bribe her from what I read. He's saying that's not what happened. but yet he stepped down because she said she had other audio on him. Now, what was other audio? That's what I want to know. Was it more of the same, or was it something else? Some other kind of personal stuff? That's what I want to know. Y'all let me know what you think.
This is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me.
I get it. And one of you guys got it. CB, you got it. He is the middleman. That's right. He's not the one that has the bag of money. This guy, the GOP chair in Arizona, well, now the former Arizona GOP chair, he is not the guy that has the money. He could not just go get a Brinks truck with $30 million and say, yo, take that. He's not the person. He is, from my point of view, and probably from yours as well, he is relaying a message. Hey, they told me to tell you that they got a big bag of money if you just chill out for a couple of years. It's not me saying it, but they're saying it. I'm here to relay the message. That, I think, is what's happening. I don't think it's him having this grand idea in his mind. He is the messenger for the powers that be.
People are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened. Don't go. Do me a favor, though. I don't get myself in trouble. If you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
I wouldn't doubt that either. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They said the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you what.
He don't want to say no names. He don't want to get in trouble. He knows he can't talk about the people that are the people. You know, he can't divulge that information. We don't want to get down in the rabbit hole.
Let's just say there are people calling around saying, "Gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. Because say I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future."
Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there. I think I'm gonna do a fuller video on this probably tomorrow. But again, this is the Arizona GOP chair, or the former Arizona GOP chair. Let me make sure his name. What's his name? His name is Jeff DeWitt. And again, the headline from New York Times that got published just about a couple hours ago, less than 2 hours ago, says Arizona GOP chairman resigns after tape suggests attempt to bribe Kari Lake. The chair, Jeff DeWitt, denied the conversation amounted to bribery and said Ms. Lake, a Senate candidate, had threatened to release another damaging recording if he did not step down. So, again, he is the middleman, the messenger, just saying, my people, my handlers, my puppet masters told me to tell you that they got a bag of money if you just step aside. That's what happened. That's what's going on, in my point of view. And again, I'll probably do a video about that specifically on another day. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here so far. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And thank you to my main man, Michael Critchlow, for that breaking news super chat. That came in quite handy. Now, yeah, I'm going to do a video, David, but I wanted to wait until that happened. I think I wanted to wait until something else dropped. So I will do a video on it. And we got breaking news, so I covered it right now. You know, I read the comments sometimes like, hey, man, you late with that. So I'm pretty much on time with breaking news right here. Hold on. Concert LD says, my biggest problem with this Kari Lake audio is she knows who they are, and she did not drop names. She knows who they are just as he does. That is a very, very good point. It almost sounds like she was speaking in a certain way in which she knows that she was being recorded and he did not know. She knew that she could say certain things to use this in the future. That's why it got released. And she had another tape of him. So my question is, Miss Kari Lake, do you just record all your conversations normally? You know, when I speak to friends or colleagues or whatever, I'm not just recording them randomly. So why were you doing that? And why were you speaking in a certain kind of way? I'm just asking the question. I mean, no accusation of any kind of wrongdoing, any kind of trouble or nothing like that about, but I'm asking the question. If anyone can answer, y'all let me know in the comments. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close out the poll right here from the Texas governor. And the question I had for the poll, we have 276 votes after about 16 minutes. The best governor poll, it's been pretty much the same throughout the entire time. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out right now. I'm seeing a few more votes come in, but the margin is not really changing at all. And it's been pretty much the same from the beginning. So I'm going to end it right here. And the actual results, best governor, Texas Governor Greg got 56% of the poll. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, 43%. Again, Greg got 56%. DeSantis, 43% of the vote. So you guys like Greg Abbott as a governor more than Ron DeSantis. And I think that's probably about right. But again, you got two really good governors. Florida is a very attractive place to be. And it's not just because of the weather and whatnot, because if that's the case, then California would be everyone's dream destination because it has beautiful weather. But obviously, it's not everyone's dream destination. We'll talk more about them a little bit later. I'd rather go to Arizona than California, and Arizona ain't nothing but an oven. The heat in Arizona, my goodness, how do you guys survive? Talking about dying of thirst, can I get a drop of moisture? I mean, good grief. I don't like being a rotisserie chicken out there in the summertime. That's not the wave at all. I'm not a fan. Shout out to moisture. Shout out to the beach. Shout out to actual humidity. Shout out to rain, water. Shout out to a temperate climate, not this desert stuff, but I digress. All right, so let's go ahead and keep on rocking and rolling. I'm reading some of these comments right here about Kari Lake. Let me see. Self-protection, sketchy. They all know who they are working for, and it ain't us. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. I guess that's the whole thing here. This is chess, not checkers. From what I could hear, they both know who wants her to stop. She's aware of the scum out there. Who is they, though? I mean, that's a good question. I think that I couldn't really answer the question. And if I was in the federal government and I'm around them every day, I think I'd have a good idea of who they is. You know what? I'm going to give my opinion about who they is, although I really don't know for 100% certain. I think they are the corporations, whoever has the money, whoever controls the money. So if you're a corporation, you're a big hedge fund guy or whatever, you control what goes on. If you're seeing some random person that really shouldn't be in the presence of politicians always around them, like George Soros' son. Hold on. I'm gonna show this guy. Yeah, this is Alex Soros. Now, I'm gonna show this guy speaking. This guy is speaking at the World Economic Forum, right? He's around powerful elites, guys that really got money, innovators in the field, heads of state, things of this nature. And you're gonna hear him speak, and you're gonna hear what he's saying, and you're like, why is he at the WEF? You got guys like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, people like that there. Why is this guy there? Okay, let's go ahead and let it rock. Now, I know he, a lot of money or whatever, but that's the point. You got a lot of money, you're a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever the case may be. You can do whatever you want, and you control what happens, especially on the federal level. On a state level, local level, you're kind of more protected from the federal nonsense, which is another reason why I do not like the federales.
I don't think that's the fundamental. I don't think technology is the fundamental issue in democracy. Democracy is messy. I mean, democracy is about contestation of ideas. It's about plurality. It's about people having different truths, actually. Now, fundamentally, how society lives together civically in those contestations is obviously quite tricky. But I think that if we play too much on this disinformation card, we're taking the responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe in democracy and democratic.
What is he saying? He's been speaking for about 1 minute, 54 seconds. What is he saying? Have you guys been able to gather anything from this almost 1 minute of incoherent rambling, babbling? He is not a guy that should be on stage speaking. Just because you have money, just because your dad is George Soros. Now, my thing is, how old is George Soros? I mean, good grief. How old was he when he birthed this nut job right here? This guy, I mean, what in the world anyway? George Soros is about 1,000 years old. How does a vampire give birth to a live human being? I don't know, but anyway.
Institutions, on the institutional part, I think that we can talk about.
I don't want to play that no more. I don't know why I push play again on that. You get the idea. This guy is a blithering idiot. That was one of the captions for the video when they posted it. A blithering idiot. That is Alex Soros, the son, I believe, of George Soros. Let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. Hopefully that's not his great grandson from the Civil War era. Hold on. So this guy's my age. He's 38. I'm just 1 year older than him. So Alexander Soros is an American philanthropist, one of the sons of billionaire George Soros. He is chair of the Open Society Foundations and one of the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leaders of 2018. Okay. Now, guys like that are who they are in reference to what Kari Lake and Jeff DeWitt from Arizona were speaking about. Okay. That's who they are. All right. So shout out to him, but we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. And shout out to you guys on the Facebook. I appreciate you. Thank you to Christine. Shout out to Sammy. I appreciate you guys over there on the Facebooks for rocking and rolling. All right. Now let's go to, this is a pretty interesting clip right here. And I have more from New Hampshire. New Hampshire is pretty interesting in general. Okay. There's actually a lot there about New Hampshire. I'm going to do a video about New Hampshire as well. New Hampshire, I'm going to give you a preview of my video from tomorrow. New Hampshire, people said that it was close and it was too close and Trump barely won. What they don't say is who actually voted for Trump in the New Hampshire primary versus who voted for Nikki Haley. They don't tell you that part. That's pretty important to actually understand. Okay, so before we get there, let's get to this statement from Dean Phillips. All right, let's watch this.
A crisis of participation. And I got to tell you guys, I went to a Donald Trump rally a couple nights ago. Never been.
Now, this is Rep. Dean Phillips, and the lower third says New Hampshire's union leader newspaper endorses Biden rival Dean Phillips. So this is a guy that I guess is trying to run against Joe Biden. Good luck with that. Now, he's talking about his experience going to a Trump rally, okay?
We have a crisis of participation. And I got to tell you guys, I went to a Donald Trump rally a couple nights ago. Never been to one. I had an event across the street. I saw the line of people waiting in the cold for hours. And I thought, what the heck? You know, I'm going to be a leader who actually invites people, doesn't condemn them. Met probably 50 Trump people waiting in line. Every single one of them, thoughtful, hospitable, friendly, all of them so frustrated that they feel nobody's listening to them but Donald Trump. A diverse crowd, people who had never been to a Trump event before. My party is completely delusional right now.
So again, this guy is trying to run against Joe Biden in the primary. Has no chance, obviously, because the machine is fully behind their slightly animated corpse. So he has no chance, but what he's saying is correct about people that are there. You know, the whole thing about Trump rallies, they say, oh, it's a Klan rally and they hate people and all this and that. But I've been to many Trump rallies and it's always nothing but love. Nothing but love, race, all that kind of stuff don't really matter. It's not even really relevant. It's not even a thing to talk about. It's that we all there. We all want the best for the country, and it's nothing but love. I had many fond memories of Trump rallies going to them when I was able to really be traveling more. I remember just being in the crowd, like when they would come here to Tennessee. I've not been to one here in a while, but when they would come here, man, people be in the crowd handing out food, water, just to each other. Not even like official people coming to help, just us. We got our own little self-sustained thing going on. It's just nothing but love. It's all good. No weird stuff. It's just great. But the outside, they say something different. Now, let's speak a little bit more about New Hampshire specifically. People will say that the race was too close and Donald Trump barely won New Hampshire, and that shows that Nikki Haley is a real contender. But I knew from the beginning that Nikki Haley is just an apparition. She's just a product of the media. They're trying to make her be a thing to try and steal votes away from Trump. They're trying to make her be the nominee so she could be in there rather than Trump. Okay, that's what it is. So let's look at this particular video, and you're going to see the reality of who voted for Trump in the New Hampshire primary versus who voted for Nikki Haley. Check it out.
In these exit poll results, you see a Mars and Venus universe for Haley and Trump coalitions here.
Interestingly, on the point about the crossover people vote.
All right, Dave Rubin, shout out to you, but I'm not trying to hear you right now.
Republican primary voters don't see eye to eye?
Yes, that's right, Jake. In these exit poll results, you see a Mars and Venus universe for Haley and Trump coalitions here. Take a look at the numbers. Among Trump voters, 70% of them, according to our exit polls, are registered Republicans. Donald Trump, his support, 27% of his voters are registered undeclareds or independents. 3% were unregistered before today. Look.
Now, let's pause for a minute. Now, this is a CNN exit poll, and it's being shown on CNN. So this is straight from their information, from their sources. Their source is them in their own exit poll from the New Hampshire primary. Now, remember, the news media will say that it was too close and Trump barely won, and the Republicans, they don't like Trump. They like Nikki Haley. No, look at this right here. 70% of those who voted for Trump hold on, let me go back. 70% of those voted for Trump in the actual primary were registered Republican in New Hampshire. But Nikki Haley is the exact opposite. Let's watch.
Undeclared. Look at how that compares with Nikki Haley. It's a complete reversal. It's an alternate universe. Among Haley voters, 70% are registered undeclared. Only 27% are registered Republicans. We also see this when asking people, did Joe Biden legitimately win the 2020 election? Which he did. Among Trump voters, 80% say no. They say it wrongly. No, Joe Biden did not legitimately win the 2020 election. Haley voters, it's the complete opposite. 83% of Haley voters say correctly that Joe Biden was the legitimate winner in 2020. Only 15% of her voters say wrongly that he was not. This is the Trump-Haley Mars-Venus election tonight in New Hampshire.
All right, David, thank you.
So 70% of Trump voters in New Hampshire, in the New Hampshire primary, were registered Republican. 70% of Haley voters in the New Hampshire primary were registered undeclared, no party affiliation. I mean, come on. We can see what's happening here. We see that it's just non-Republicans, Democrats voting in the primary to take votes away from Trump in the primary in New Hampshire. And even though they did all that, Trump still won. But the media would say that it was close. You see what I'm saying? Now, I have another example of what I'm talking about. Here's yet another example of the strategy coming straight from the proverbial horse's mouth. All right. Back in New Hampshire, here's a young man talking about what he did as far as his voting pattern.
Christian, who did you vote for and why?
Yeah, so thank you. I voted for Nikki Haley, and it was certainly a strategic vote. I think the DNC is fairly resolute in their nomination for Joe Biden. And while I wouldn't vote for her in a general election, particularly on our differences with climate change solution, a women's right to bodily autonomy, or incarceration rates, I think a vote for Nikki Haley helps diminish Trump's influence in the RNC and their nomination, but is also a vote towards democracy.
And Christian is emblematic of so many conversations that I've had here throughout the day.
So they're all saying the exact same thing.
Rachel?
Alex, Christian, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
They're all saying the same thing. Now, the reason why I played the entire clip is because some may say, oh, that's fake ABL, that's AI or green screen. No, because they shot back their Rachel Maddow and she acknowledged them right here on the screen, on the split screen, the MSNBC, on MS-13 DNC, pardon me, MS-13 DNC. They said it right there. I voted for Nikki Haley to take votes away from Trump. I don't want to vote for her or Trump, but I want to hurt Trump. They said it right there on TV, and you saw the exit poll data. So what more evidence do we need to show that the New Hampshire primary only was close because of non-Republicans voting for Nikki Haley? The only reason why she polls well in New Hampshire is because of non-Republicans, people that are not going to vote for him or her in the primary. In the general election. They will in the primary, but not in the actual general election. All right. So that's what's happening right there. Now let's keep on moving here. So really, when you look at actual Republicans that voted in the primary, not only did Trump win, it was a curb stomping. Let's keep on rocking here. And let's play some more here. Hold on. All right. I got your man. I got your main man, Joe Biden. You know, Joe Biden is one of the best speakers of our time. When I hear Joe Biden speak, I just get chills up my spine. I'm thinking, you know what? This man is so amazing. You're talking about, like, if you put all the best speakers of our time on Mount Rushmore, you got to save one spot for one Joseph Biden. You got to do it. And if you don't, you're a hater. So let's hear this beautiful, beautiful excerpt of a speech from Joe. You ready? You ready? Let's go ahead and rock.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and you know what? That was so poignant, so beautiful, so touching, so heartwarming. It warranted applause. Now, if only I could translate it. It's like listening to music in a completely foreign language. I don't know what's going on, but I know that it must have been something really powerful, right? Let's watch it one more time for you guys, just to get the full feeling of his powerful words.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
There you go. So that's your main man, 81 million right there, Joe Biden, who was all of 8,100 years old. 81 years old, I believe. Let me see how old he is. Is he 80 or 81? 81 years old. My. This guy, 81 years. 81. What's 81 in dog years? That must be what he is. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Cowboy says, don't mess with the me mall of America unless you want the benefit of it. There you go. Not only did he speak gibberish, even if you're able to translate it properly, it doesn't make any sense. What I heard was, don't mess with the women of America unless you want the benefit of it. The benefit, how does one benefit with messing with women of America? If you guys can solve that riddle, you'd be a multi-trillionaire. You can solve a Rubik's Cube in 2 seconds. Now, speaking about Biden and Trump, let's get some street interviews. All right, let's let it rock.
Would you guys let Joe Biden babysit your kids?
No. Hell no, because he'd fall asleep before I even got out the door.
No.
For sure. And Michael Jackson.
He'd lose that, for sure.
Yeah, Joe's way too old. Oh, Joe.
But I let Donald Trump babysit my kid.
Would you?
So the question, if you missed it, would you let Donald Trump babysit your kids? All right, pardon me. Was it Donald Trump? Would you let Joe Biden babysit your kids? That's the prompt that they're being given.
Would you guys let Joe Biden babysit your kids?
No.
Hell no, because he'd fall asleep before I even got out the door.
No.
For sure. And Michael Jackson.
He'd lose them for sure.
So he said he would let not only Joe Biden babysit his kids, but Michael Jackson. Now I don't know about that. You know, shout out to Mike, but Mike, you know, you ain't gonna be giving them kids some Jesus juice. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm a fall back.
Sure.
Yeah, Joe's way too old. Oh, Joe.
But I let Donald Trump babysit my kid.
So shout out to them. Shout out to the people of America who have common sense, who have brain power. I like seeing that for sure. That is always a good thing. Now I'm gonna play some of this video right here. I've not watched the entire thing, but I want to play it because I want to respond. All right, let's go ahead and see this. Now this is one of these TikTok reactions where you can pick out a comment and react to it. TikTok is the Antichrist, but unfortunately, people are being influenced by it, and I got to give a counter commentary. So the comment she's responding to says, "We also have plans that work, but nobody's listening unless we rhyme." And you're going to understand what the context of that particular comment is in a minute. I guess the plan is, if you don't vote for Trump or Biden, who are you going to vote for?
Okay, y'all. So earlier today, I asked the question, what is the plan? If you're not going to vote for Joe Biden and you don't want to vote for Trump, what is the plan? And somebody said they have a plan. So let's go through the comments so we can figure out the plan. Because I said, if we're going to have a plan, let's talk about it. So on my video, they said, all we're hearing from Vote Blue no matter who is status quo or you go. Now, one thing we're going to do is give credit where credit is due. They can come up with a slogan in a heartbeat, honey. The slogans be sloganing and they be rhyming and everything. So Miss Mama, I gave her credit and she said, yeah, we have plans that work, but nobody's listening unless we rhyme. And so I was asking, if y'all got a plan, have y'all tested it out in Congress, the Supreme Court, the White House, the governor's office, the city council, school board, somebody. Y'all got to have this plan tested somewhere, right? So she said, see, there's the issue. You're talking about what's been tested when we see that method does not work, yet y'all cling to hope. Cling to the hope that it will. Now, I am confusion. Maybe somebody can help me understand what the plan is. You're saying you're not going to vote for Genocide Joe. You're saying that you're not going to vote for Donald Trump. Who we voting for? Where they coming from? What's their policies? What plan are they running on?
You're asking very good questions because I hear that a lot. People say, here's what happens a lot when you talk to the community or even just regular white liberals, black liberals, whatever, and you convince them that Joe Biden is a bad person. You convince them that Joe Biden doesn't do anything, really. He's bad for the nation. When you convince them of that, they will say, you know what? Well, Democrat, Republican, two sides of the same bird. I ain't voting for nobody. Okay. If that is your thought process, then what are you going to do? Nothing? Just be irrelevant. And you wonder why they're bringing in the illegal aliens. You're wondering why they're bringing in the illegal aliens because they see that you guys are not really going to help them push forward their narratives. So they're going to replace you, meaning the Democrats. Democrats say, okay, if you're not going to vote for us anymore at a 90% clip in the community, we will replace you. And they're going to vote because once they come in as asylum seekers, they're going to be in the country. And at a certain point, we're going to give them citizenship. That's the end game. That's the end goal here. So all of this right here talking about what's their policy, what are they going to do, what's the plan, it won't even matter. It won't even matter, but I'm going to let her finish.
Do y'all know? Because we're trying to figure it out. I mean, if y'all telling people not to vote for Joe Biden and we this, that, and the third for voting for Joe Biden, who actually has a plan, who actually has all of the things that they've done while in office on their website and whitehouse.gov, and you can actually read them. And also the GOP has a plan. Besides Project 25, they have their plans for legislation of what they're going to do when they're in office and what they plan to revoke. I mean, it's a crappy plan, but they have a plan. I'm just trying to figure out what is the plan for everybody else saying they're not voting for either or. Y'all not.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand 100%. I get it. Yeah, if you're not really going to vote, if you're not going to participate, then it doesn't even really matter. If you refuse to even be involved, then what you say doesn't matter. And also, if you're going to just vote one way, regardless of what, you're going to convince yourself that's the way to go, you're not even going to be relevant. At a certain point, you'll just be replaced, surpassed, and you'll just be a thing of the past. You'll be out here trying to just beg for crumbs at a certain point. That's going to be your future. That'll be your future. And I try to tell people, they don't really want to hear it, but whatever. You'll see when it gets to be at a certain point. You'll see what's going on. And Kamala Harris has already given you the blueprint. She's already told you what they're going to do. Now, I got to find that clip from Kamala because she already said, look, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. That's what's going to happen, and you're going to pretty much just stick with it. Now, she revealed, now remember, Kamala Harris, remember her? I've not seen her in a while, ever since, before this video. She's pretty much been hiding in the cut. I don't know where she's been. Maybe they got a brand new Epstein Island underground somewhere, so can't nobody see him. But anyway, she is the border czar. She was appointed to be the border czar to help that whole situation get under control. That's her actual job title, among many that she doesn't really do. Basically, she just goes out to people of color events and takes pictures. She's a glorified party girl, but I'm a relax. They were asking her on CNN, hey, what's your plan to deal with the border? And here is her response. Check it out.
We should have a bipartisan approach to fixing this problem, which is a long-standing problem.
But what are those solutions?
The solution includes putting resources at the border to do what we can to process people effectively and putting in place laws that actually allow for a meaningful pathway to citizenship. We should.
There it is. She's saying it. Look, the vice president of the USA, who is appointed to be the border czar, is telling you what they're going to do. Listen, we're going to give them more resources to process people in. She didn't say anything about building a wall or deterrence or more security, border patrol, nothing like no drones, lights, cameras. No. We're going to have them process more in, which means they're going to bring the illegal aliens who are trying to come across, sneak across, fly across, tumble across, get put in bags and shoe lockers. We're going to just shift them to the point of entry, have them become asylum seekers, and let them in the country with a court date that's like 20 years in the future. So we're going to bring them in. Everybody, no legal requirements, just come one, come all. And then once they're here, they're going to become citizens. That's what their plan is. They're telling you right here. Now, they're not going to say that officially, but she's telling you on camera what the plan is. She's telling you. It might not be on whitehouse.gov. It might not be a declared official thing, but she's on TV saying it. What more evidence do you need? And do you think they're going to, who are they going to replace, black folks? I don't know. Oh, and speaking about the migrant crisis, this is Logan Airport in Boston. No relation. Shout out to Logan Airport. This has become yet another homeless shelter, the same way they have over in Chicago O'Hare. Check it out.
Dozens of migrants lined up, sleeping on the floor of Terminal E at Logan Airport. WBZ's Louisa Mueller is live for us at the State House tonight. Louisa, the video that we just showed was taken just a few days ago. So are the migrants still there at the airport?
David, I am told they are back there tonight, but they weren't there this morning when I visited. The migrants have told my contacts themselves that they're getting on buses and leaving during the day and coming back in the evening. So we asked lawmakers, is there a coordinated effort to move the migrants during the day, and what does that cost? And their answers were somewhat ambiguous.
Last week, our camera captured dozens of families sleeping on the floor of Terminal E at Logan. Little ones, toddling across the floor, and babies. The issue isn't new. Massport officials said migrant families were sleeping in Logan in November, but the numbers are startling. Some estimate more than 100 folks.
There's lots of children, a lot of children.
Medford woman Katura Dews has been visiting the airport, providing resources to the families and speaking with them.
A lot of well care stuff, because a lot of them, while they're at the airport, they don't have access to a shower. So there's like some shower wipes, little towels just to clean up while they wait.
With the state proclaiming that there's no room to house more migrants.
Hey, imagine that smell. Oh my goodness, man, look here. I'm not trying to fly into any airport and smell the stench of 1,000 migrants. I'm just not trying to do it. I'm sorry. You got to go over there. I'm not trying to look. I done paid an umpteen trillion dollars for my plane ticket. The last thing I want to do is get greeted with this crazy, ridiculous funk.
Migrant families in emergency shelters. The question is, where are they going during the day?
Where they going during the day? Probably just getting shuttled around somewhere else. Maybe they're going to work. Maybe they're going to school. Who knows? Because they're trying to make them be citizens at this point. Okay. And speaking about migrants and, they're trying to find a better life, ABL, all this and that and the third. There was one guy. Hold on. There's one guy that they saw, and he might be someone that is known. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this guy. There was a guy who you may have saw at the border who says, you may know who I am, all this, that, and the third. And they said he was someone else. He was a guy that was known. If you guys know who I'm talking about, matter of fact, I'm going to play it. And then if you guys know his name, y'all let me know. Because they said this guy was from Azerbaijan. And he was, matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to find it. He's from Azerbaijan. And yeah, there we go. There we go. I found it. Okay. So I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to show you who the guy may be. ABL, where's Azerbaijan? How did he get here to America? Planes, money, bread, wealth, finances, resources.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're going to know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitled.
And then Allahu Akbar at the end. That's what he said. But that part was cut out in the audio.
The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
You will see soon. By the way.
So let's hear him one more time. Let's listen to what he's saying.
If you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're going to know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
Okay, so you see the guy right here at the southern border coming in illegally. He's saying, hey, you don't know who I am, but you're not smart enough. If you were, you would know who I am. Now, let's see who this guy may, keyword may be. All right, and let's show it. And here is a person. They say that it might be. Again, might is not confirmed. Shout out to N Wokeness. It says, is this him? Musam Samadov leads the Azerbaijan Islamic Party. They have close ties to Hezbollah. He was jailed for 12 years on charges of attempts to organize a terror attack and overthrow the government. He was released on January 19th, 2023. How convenient. Now, is that him? Is that the same guy? You guys let me know if it's him or not. Again, I don't know if that's him. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it's not, I can't tell. If it's not him, that's his twin cousin, his twin brother. Okay, Muhammad 1 and Muhammad 2. Thing 1, thing 2, freaking frack, Dumb and Dumber, Kid and Play. he just got out. So people talking about, they're just Mexicans trying to find a better life. I can't tell. What happens when one of these guys comes across the border and then commits an actual terror attack? How did they get here? How did they come into the country? He just got out of jail. What did he? There it is. So again, I don't know if that's him or not, but he was talking pretty crazy, talking about something. Hey, you don't know who I am, but you'll find out. There you have it. There you have it. That's what's going on at the southern border. Okay. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And speaking of the southern border, again, when your cousin at the dinner table, when you see him on Thanksgiving every couple of years, when you go see your family, and you're talking about politics, and he's saying, why do you hate immigrants? They come here, they pick the fruit and make the beds and all this and that. Do you hate Mexicans because you don't speak Spanish, all this and that? When they say that, show them this video. Matter of fact, show them that one of the guy who was one step from saying, Allahu Akbar. He was one step from doing this right here. One step from doing that little gesture right there. Okay. Show them that video, then show them this one. Now we got Europeans coming across. Oh yeah, everybody, not just Mexicans, Africans, Middle Easterns, South Americans, Europeans. Yes, yes.
Where are you guys from? Russia.
Russians coming across.
Russia?
Russia.
Where are you from?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Again, this is a border. They're coming across illegally. So you got some from Russia, some from a former Soviet republic called Kazakhstan, which is basically Russia and China put together.
You guys, can I ask you guys a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We from Belarus.
Belarus, White Russia, literally Belarus, White Russia. It's right in between Russia and Ukraine and the Baltic states.
From
Belarus.
Belarus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's middle Russia and Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And how long have you guys been here?
We 3 days. Other people maybe 2 weeks or 1 month.
And why did you guys come? Why?
We need to go in US.
Yeah. Why did you come to go? Why did you leave your country to come here?
Because we have a problem. Our country is dangerous for us.
It's dangerous. Yeah. So it's dangerous. You got to come all the way past the entire Europe and come to America. Belarus, that's way out far Eastern Europe. You're talking about basically Russia. So you're at the edge of Europe. So you skip past the whole rest of Europe, all those safe countries over there. Okay, no Italy, no UK, no France, no Spain, no Germany, no Monaco, no nowhere. Coming straight over the Atlantic or maybe the Pacific, if you went through China or somewhere, to come to Mexico and then to come in through the border illegally. Save the nonsense.
Okay. And what are you asking for asylum?
Yeah, we need the political asylum.
Political asylum. Okay. Well,
you just say whatever. We need political asylum. We need that asylum, mom. We need the political asylum. Whatever. I'm not trying to hear it. Go back. I don't care where you come. I don't care what color you are. Listen, I don't care what color you are, what country you come from. If you want to come to the country, come legally. If not, then go back over there. Go over there. We don't got time for it. We don't got the money. We're full. All right. Now, speaking of immigrants and all that kind of stuff, Nikki Haley. Let's talk about it, shall we? Nikki Haley said that she was teased every day for being brown. Now, what I want to do right now is try to find the full clip because the person who posted this did not post the full context because there was a question that she was asked. Let me see if I can find it here. Y'all give me a second. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Here we go. This is where it is.
You've been asked about your...
There we go. I think this is going to be the right one. And we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Comments on slavery. We don't need to rehash that. But there were some critics that criticized your comments last night about having black friends as sort of using a trope. What do you say to people who say that you've really had challenges when it comes to talking about race and are worried about what that would mean for the general election?
So the context is she's being asked a question during an interview about race. Because remember the whole thing about the Civil War, and she didn't mention slavery during the answer. And then she said she has black friends, and they're saying that's like a trope or a stereotype and a get out of jail free card. So she's being asked about that, and then she's going to respond. Okay, let's check it out.
We were the only Indian family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown.
Pause. Now, some said, hey, ABL, we saw a school picture of Nikki Haley, and in the picture, the other kids, you had brown kids there too, but that's not the same. That's not Indian. So look, I'm about 40 years old, right around that. When I was in school, and if you went to a school that had more than one race dominant, you had kids that would group themselves by race. It wasn't a mandatory thing. It wasn't a required thing. People just did it. And in some schools, even right now to this day, have black proms and white proms. Literally, I'm not making it up. Not a thing that's sanctioned by the school. Here's what happened. A school will not put on an official prom. Parents will have their own private parties. The black kids will go to one party, the white kids to the other. In that situation, if you're Indian and you're the only Indian, where do you fit in? This is Colin Kaepernick's issue. Colin Kaepernick, biracial, black and white. You're too black for the white kids, too white for the black kids, at least in your mind. So where do you fit? Colin Kaepernick has got to go above and beyond, wearing cornrows, talking about I'm blackity black to prove that he's black. Because to be totally honest, I had no idea Kaepernick was black when he came into the league. I thought he was just some kind of Middle Eastern or Hispanic. I didn't know he was like biracial. I had no idea. Until we started wearing the cornrows and really just playing it up. Oh, okay, I get it. So if you're Nikki Haley and you're the only Indian family, you're not black or white, which is what everybody else is, where do you fit in? You see?
So anyone that wants to question it can go back and look at what I've said on how hard it was to grow up in the Deep South as a brown girl. Anybody can look at my record and see when Walter Scott was shot down by a dirty cop, how I made sure that the Walter Scott family didn't suffer because we put the first body camera bill in the country in place. Anybody can look at the fact that when we had 9 amazing souls die in Mother Emanuel Church, I did something that no Republican or Democrat ever wanted to touch, which was call for the Confederate flag to come down because it would take 2/3 of the House and Senate and was an impossible feat. I don't know what you're implying with that, but what I will tell you is saying that I had black friends is a source of pride. Saying that I had white friends is a source of pride. If you want to know what it was like growing up, I was disqualified from a beauty pageant because I wasn't white or black, because they didn't know where to put me.
Let's pause right there. Now, I watched Candace Owens' video about this, kind of like debunking it, but I disagree with what she said in her conclusion. Now, she put that story in the book about the beauty pageant. What happened was, in a beauty pageant, where she was like a little girl, like I think she might have been 4 or her sister might have been 4. Like they were 4 and 8, her and her sister, little kids. The little black girls were on one side, white girls on the other side. When it came time to announce who won, it was her and her sister sitting right next to each other. And then they were taken away before they actually announced the winners. And then they were given the beach ball, and that was it. And she was confused, like, what happened? Now, Candace was saying that she just lost, but this is before they announced any winners or losers or anything. They were just taken away because they said there was no place to put you. You're not black or white, so what do we do? You see? That's what happened. Now, I'm going to show her family. All right, I'm going to show the family. And when you see the family, I mean, come on. People saying that she doesn't look Indian. Like, let's be serious. I'm gonna show the family, then you can be like, okay, I get it. Now, if you are in rural South Carolina and everybody is black or white and probably been there since slavery, and you coming in looking like this, come on. Like, come on, man. Really? You think that she's not getting bullied Be serious. Like, legitimately be serious. And I'm not even saying that it's like she got to be a victim or whatever, but come on, man. You know how kids are. Kids are going to bully you for anything. You're going to be bullied for being black if you're black. Again, you can be bullied by blacks for being black if you're black. When I was a kid, I went to 100% black schools. Maybe there might be a couple of white kids here and there until I got to be in high school. In the 100% black school, what's going to happen? All the black folks in the audience, if I say African booty scratcher, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not black, you might say the movie. No. The movie was what we already been saying. It just became popularized that way. That's how you found out, but we knew about it before that. If you were dark skinned, you got made fun of. If you were light skinned, you got made fun of. If you were fat, short, tall, pretty, ugly, you got bullied for all those things. This is among 100% black kids. Then when you put in other races who may be a minority, you're going to get bullied for that. Then when you put in an Indian person in the 80s in South Carolina, rural South Carolina, really? Come on, man. Like, people saying that she was lying, I don't see, it's like no purpose in lying about that. When your dad come to school looking like, Apu from The Simpsons, you think kids don't see, and they don't see you, and they don't see how you dress? Look at it. Look at her outfit. Look at her hair. That's her right there. Okay, either that's her on the top or on the bottom. Are these white kids? Let's be serious. Let's be serious, man. Come on. Listen, when I was a kid, you got dark skin jokes, light skin jokes, fat, all of that. If you're black for being black, with all black kids. If you're white, I don't know what you guys went through. I never went to a majority white school, so I have no idea. The same way, if you were white and went to a majority white school, you have no idea what we would do. And if you didn't go to a mixed school, you have no idea what would go on at these schools. Yeah, come back in. You're gonna get all them jokes. Apu from The Simpsons, Bob and Virgin. Come back in. You're gonna get all that if you Indian and you the only one. For real. Like, but anyway, I believe her 100%. And the reason why she was saying it is because she was asked a question. All right. Now, Francis says, I assume you have not seen the clips of her saying that there is no racism in the country. Nah, she said that we're not a racist country. That's different than saying there's no racism. Not being a racist country means that we don't decide things based on race, like according to the law. That's not the same thing as being teased as an 8-year-old girl for being Indian. It's not the same thing. If I'm black and I'm being teased by black folks for being too black, does that mean that we have a racist country, or do we just have kids that are bullying? Racism, as far as a country level, would be things on the books, laws that prohibit you from doing anything because you're black, white, or whatever. Now, I will say there is some of that going on with diversity, equity, and inclusion, affirmative action, quotas, things of this nature. The whole thing with Harvard, where Asian kids get kicked out, X'd out in favor of black and Hispanic. That's an example of racism. So if she's trying to say that doesn't exist, I disagree. But as far as what she went through, that's not the same thing as what I'm talking about as far as actual laws in the books and things that are sanctioned by the government. All right. But yeah, Nikki Haley, I'm not going to vote for her ever. But to act like what she's saying is not really a real thing, that's ridiculous. In the 80s, like, let's be for real. I grew up in the late 80s, 90s. That was my time. I graduated high school 2002. So when I was a kid and I went to, like in high school especially, I saw it in high school mostly. If you white, you sit with the white kids. Black, you sit with the black kids. We all got along though. You be in class with my white homies, my black homies, everybody, we get along. But you just kind of had your own little silo, and that's just what it was. And it wasn't even a thing that we were forced to do. But anyway, I'll keep on moving along here. I got a crush on Nikki Haley? Never. Nikki Haley, that's not my type at all. Bob K. MIT says, I went to mostly black school, had to fight on day one, never had to fight again. That's how things are. Yep, you got to just fight immediately, prove yourself. Okay, you a soft white boy or something like that, you going to get tested. Okay, you a cool white boy. That's how it was. I'm not saying anything race. I'm just saying that's how it was. When I was in school, yeah. That's how it would be. And if you were a light-skinned black person, the same thing. If you were a light-skinned black person, you were seen as soft instantly. You got to fight. You got to fight every day. If you were a light-skinned black girl, you got to fight the dark-skinned black girls because you were seen as too pretty, and that was a competition thing. All right. Charlie Church says, we had one black kid in my school in elementary and no one made fun of him. Well, that's good. Now, my question would be, how old were you and where'd you live? That's a key thing because it's also a regional thing. And then I would ask you to ask him what was his experience because you are seeing things from your perspective, but what about his perspective? Are you there with him 24/7? Are you there with him in his home life, in his neighborhood? Like, you don't really know what's going on aside from what you see from your lens, from your perspective. All right. And her point is that she was asked a question. So my thing is, people like politicians because politicians answer questions in a certain way that makes the electorate feel good about themselves. If she could have just lied and said, nah, I never had any problems, or just not told the story. So then now she's withholding information about herself. She's not being forthcoming. She's not being transparent. Do you really want transparency, or do you only want transparency when it benefits you and what you want to hear? See, this is why people lie to people, because lying is often better than the truth. Ignorance is bliss. You better off not knowing the truth because you're offended by the truth. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. That's why that phrase is a thing. But I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. We have more street interviews. I'm going to switch gears all the way away from that heavy topic.
You don't think
this is about, what's this, college kids? And shout out to Shaney Rich. Big up to him on the YouTubes and the Twitters and everywhere else. He says, this caption says, college students genuinely think they work harder than Elon Musk. Let's check it out.
Think Elon Musk works hard?
No, he's literally a Nepo baby. He's like the definition of a Nepo baby. So
you actually don't think Elon Musk works hard running Tesla, having Neuralink, having SpaceX, running Twitter. Now he has Starlink internet.
He spends all his time on Twitter and just tweeting people. So, I mean, I really don't.
Do you think you work harder than Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
One thing I will say is probably like 90% of the population works harder than Elon Musk.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
What do I do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
I go to class, try to keep my grades up so that I don't have to lose my scholarship, so that I can continue to go to school.
You're convinced 100% that you work harder than Elon Musk?
I mean, obviously, I don't know his personal life. He's like tweeting all the time to a bunch of crap that doesn't matter.
Yo, Elon Musk maybe gets a little bit of sleep here and there. I mean, this guy has so many different things going on. Like, look at try being the head of, you got Neuralink going on. Then you have Twitter. Then you have Tesla. Then you have Starlink. Then you have the rockets, the Boeing company. You got all of that. You got all these different companies, and you are the mastermind. You're the brains behind the operation. You probably never sleep at all.
And when he's got the billions of dollars to actually make a difference in this world.
He's made a pretty good he's brought free speech back to the internet. That's a pretty big difference, in my opinion.
No, he hasn't.
How?
If anything, there's more people blocked on Twitter for sharing their opinions just because they differ from Elon's.
No,
more today than forever.
That's not true.
Okay,
can you name a few people that are blocked on Twitter?
Obviously, I can. I don't follow what he...
No, but if you say it, it's like I would think you would know.
I've seen examples, but I don't... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
can you give an example of how he made free speech better?
Yeah, give me an exact example.
100%. There hasn't really been a lot of prominent accounts banned. Look back to last year, 2023. Amount of creators banned on Instagram, on YouTube. Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Sneeko, Steve will do it.
Well,
I was banned.
Why do you think
they're literally all red-pilled crazy people?
Is that not free speech?
Okay.
Spreading propaganda and fake information.
But what's the propaganda and fake information?
False information is a threat to democracy and a threat to just...
NPC talk, a threat to democracy. What are we talking about? Like, if you were to ask her, what does that mean? She'll give you a completely blank stare. That's a programmed answer that she has been taught by television.
Progress forward, honestly.
Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, like, for example, first.
Hey, dude, stop spamming me in the chat. If you want me to answer a question, ask it one time or super chat and I might see it. But doing it over and over, I mean, come on, man. Like, let's not.
They're literally.
No, they're not. They were never convicted of that. That's outrage. That's fake news. That's propaganda.
Not literally go to prison and
He beat the case. And they honestly threw him in prison with no evidence. He was literally in a holding cell for almost a year and is still stuck on house arrest in Romania. No evidence. And
see, that's people that just don't know any better. A bunch of NPCs out there that they're told a certain thing and they want to believe it. And if you ask them to really back it up with information, they have nothing for you. And speaking of that, here's an interesting one. This is from Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, our guy, who was told to his face by Joe Biden, if you are thinking voting for me or Trump, then you ain't even black. If you don't know whether you want to vote for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. That guy who was told that on air by your main man, Joe Biden, he said, and shout out to my main man, Oliver, right-wing angel. He posted a clip. He said, Charlamagne, the God says Trump is beating Biden because America is a racist country. Now, one old white man is beating the other old white man because America's racist. Make that make sense. I can't call it. Now, I'm going to play the audio, but not the video because it's Breakfast Club and they're stuck in 2018 and don't want to let us content creators live. So I'll just put that over there and play the audio only. And he's speaking to Piers Morgan here on the Breakfast Club radio show. Check it out.
This comeback he's making, nobody thought he could do this. After the stolen election bullshit, after the January 6th riots, all that stuff, after the 91 criminal charges, did anyone really think we'd be in a position where Trump had a landslide win in Iowa and is now in most polls I'm looking at likely to beat Biden if he does end up as candidate? I mean, it's an incredible comeback. Whatever you think of it.
Well, it's something we say all the time, right? We know that America systemically, structurally is a racist country. And I think things like that prove it. And I wanted to ask you about in Trump 2016.
So basically, you heard that Trump is defeating everybody else in the race on the Republican side and will most likely defeat your man Biden in the general because America's racist. One white man beats the other white man because America's racist. I got it.
After you win, I can understand the case for optimism, right? Nobody wants to see this country fall, but it's 2024 now. Based on everything we've seen Trump do, all of the things you just, said, the attempted coup of the country, the 91 criminal charges, you still think he should be president?
Well, it's not a question of whether I think he should be. It's whether I think he might be. Okay. I don't, as a non-American citizen, it's not for me to say whether Trump should be your president. It's down to Americans, right? What I do know is, you remember that last time, after 4 years of Trump, nearly 10 million more Americans voted for him second time round than first. It was the biggest vote for both sides. Now, Biden got a huge vote, the biggest ever. But don't forget, Trump got 10 million more than first time, right?
So, yeah, shout out to Breakfast Club, Piers Morgan, all them people over there. It's crazy how that can really be a thing. And speaking of crazy takes, here is the UAW endorsing Biden for president and calling Donald Trump a scab. Is that what we're going to do? The United Auto Workers, UAW, I'm not sure who this guy is. Is he the head of the UAW? You guys, if you know, let me know in the comments. Let's check it out.
Donald Trump is a scab.
Sean Fain, UAW president. One more time. It's giving Howard Dean vibes. Check it out.
Donald Trump is a scab. Donald Trump is a billionaire, and that's who he represents.
Sir, why are you screaming, sir? Like, the microphone is right there. There's no need to actually scream. The microphone, you got two mics right in front of your face at the podium. I can hear you. I promise I can.
If Donald Trump ever worked in an auto plant, he wouldn't be a UAW member. he'd be a company man trying to squeeze the American worker.
Yeah, you need that water because after that moment, I know you parched. He's a scab. Your throat is all to pieces right now. That scab, that stretching in your throat is not very good for you, boss. Oh my goodness. Let's not do that anymore.
Donald Trump stands against everything we stand for as a union, as a society. When you go back to our core issues, wages, retirement, health care, and our time, that's what this election's about.
It's giving Macho Man Randy Savage. Hollywood Hulk, let me tell you something, brother. Are you doing the speech right now, or is it a wrestling promo? Which one is it? Are you going to go out there and drop the most vicious leg drop ever on the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, Ricky Steamboat? What are we doing?
This election's about who will stand up with us and who will stand in our way. Those are the questions that will win or lose this election and will decide our fate. Those are the questions that will determine the future of our country and the fate of the working class.
All right, there you have it. Your main man, Shawn Fain, the president of United Auto Workers Union, UAW, calling Donald Trump a scab. And that's what that is. Now, here's an interesting dynamic. You have the UAW president saying one thing, but then you have union workers saying something else. Now, let's check this out. Here we go.
You said, what about President Trump's manufacturing policies appeal to you as someone who works in an industry like that?
Well, there's a lot of people that say he's a union buster, but when he was in office, we had more union work than ever before. So I'm all for it.
As you said.
So, I mean, why is there a difference between what Shawn Fain said and what this guy's saying? See, that's what I was talking about, like in the beginning, when the guy from New Hampshire who's trying to run against Joe Biden was saying that these people who vote Trump, all of us, many of us at least, feel like our voices are unheard. Even by those who are closest to us, we're unheard. And Trump hears us. And not only does he hear us, he delivers. And that's why he gets so much support.
As you said, what about President Trump's manufacturing policies appeal to you as someone who works in an industry like that?
Well, there's a lot of people that say he's a union buster, but when he was in office, we had more union work than ever before.
There you have it. So I don't understand. I don't get it. Why is Shawn Fain so offended at Donald Trump? I don't really get it. And to your main man, Duels, I see he was in the chat. I'm going to answer the question about African booty scratcher, okay? Since I'm feeling good today, I'll answer the question. Now, African booty scratcher, that was a term that was used against anybody that was dark-skinned in the black community. And it was usually used to African immigrants or a Caribbean if you were really dark-skinned. But if you were a Caribbean, like let's say if you were Haitian, for example, and you were real dark-skinned, oh my God, immediately you come into class, you get on cultural clothing, you real dark-skinned, bald head or real low cut, African booty scratcher right away. Now, I didn't really get that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not even really that dark skinned. When I was in like the hood areas, I was like almost considered brown skin. Mostly everybody in the hood area, people that don't know, look just like this. Real dark skin. But when I went to like a more mixed school, then I became dark skinned because you got more light skinned people. You got more whites and Hispanics and everything else. And in that situation, you would get called an African booty scratcher. You understand? That's kind of how that happened. So I answered your question, but if you were not in the black community at all, you have never heard that before in your life. This is your very first time hearing it. You have never heard that before in your life. You may have seen it in the movie, but you never heard it in real life if you were not around us in that environment. All right, now you good? All right, I got you, boss. There's no problem. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here's the story about the Boeing plane that lost a wheel on the runway. You guys are saying in the comments, very first time hearing it. Yep. Sam, Hail Mary, first time hearing it. Yeah. We heard that term all the time as kids. That was just a thing in the community, in the black community. We always heard it. But that's a cultural thing that people, this is what I'm talking about. See, when Nikki Haley saying what she said, people may not really understand it because they never seen it. If I told you that the term African booty scratcher was used, you may say I'm lying. Not you guys, but some may say I'm lying because you never heard that before. But nah, it's a real thing. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. All right, so here's this, and then I'm gonna show you a diagram of all the planes that were lined up back to back, get ready to take off when this happened.
Potential disaster avoided at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport after a Delta Airlines plane lost a very important piece on the runway. But the captain had no idea there was trouble until a pilot on a different jet sounded the alarm. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is live at the airport with the air traffic control audio you need to hear. Tyler?
Christine, good afternoon to you. This is a head scratcher for people in the aviation world. Just seconds before takeoff over the weekend, a Delta Airlines jet lost one of its wheels on an Atlanta runway. Luckily, no one was injured, but federal investigators are trying to figure out what happened.
Delta 982, tower with 27 right, line up boys.
Just before a Delta Airlines plane began its takeoff roll down the runway Saturday morning at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, a warning over the radio.
This is the aircraft looking at you. One of your nose tires just came off. It just rolled off the runway behind you.
The Boeing 757 bound for Colombia stopped in its tracks after one of its nose wheels came off. The crew in command unaware until a fellow Delta pilot spoke up.
Tower, let me have I'm going to contact our maintenance folks and see if we can get a tow in.
A landing gear problem in general, they happen for various reasons. The sensors in the gear don't work. But for a tire to actually just fall off like that is extremely rare.
Paul Carr is a retired Delta captain with decades of experience. He says this is likely a maintenance issue and not a problem with the Boeing plane. He says from a safety perspective, he's glad it happened during taxi and not takeoff or landing.
They know how to handle emergencies like that. But if they had lost it in flight somehow, they would have come back and they would have landed and, like I said, done some equipment damage, but everybody would have been fine.
Delta apologized to the passengers and says it put them on a different plane to Bogota. As for the missing tire...
Bogota, very interesting. Like, what are the odds of that happening? Because we got the whole Passport Bro story happening about Bogota and guys getting deleted. Very interesting.
It was eventually found.
We have located that tire. You have located the tire? Yes, sir. It was in a safety area on the south.
So basically, this was a Boeing plane that lost a tire on the runway right before takeoff. It was getting lined up, and the tire, and I would guess the whole wheel, because they keep saying tire and wheel interchangeably. Now, the tire can come off, but the wheel can remain fixed, but the tire looks much bigger than the wheel. So I would presume the whole thing, the tire and the wheel, came off. That's what I would assume. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. You got two wheels and tires in the front. One came off. I guess the other one was enough to keep it steady because you have other wheels and tires behind it. Now, let's check this out. It was a diagram of how it happened. All right, so you can see all the planes right here lining up. Again, we're at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, the busiest airport in the world, and Delta is headquartered there at Hartsfield-Jackson, and you can see how all the planes were lining up, get ready to take off.
Tower, the 75 on the runway just lost their nose tire. Delta 798, thanks for that. Delta 982, Tower, sounds like we've got a problem. Yeah, looks like we'll try to taxi clear if we could. Delta 982, Roger, if you'd like to start your taxi down the runway and just let me know.
Now, they're saying that it's a runway. They're saying it's a maintenance issue and it's not the fault of Boeing and it's Delta's fault because the plane's 31 years old. And that just might be the case. But see, it's a bunch of finger pointing going on with Boeing because there's been quite a few things that happened. I'm going to get to the passport bros in a minute, but let me find the list of things that have been going on with Boeing before I continue on. All right, let me get a little bit of time here to find that one if I can. Here we go. So now, here's something. January 5th, Boeing 737 has panel rip off midair. That's the door plug. The door plug flew off. Then January 13th, a cockpit window cracks. January 17th, a Boeing strands Tony Blinken. January 19th, the Boeing 747 cargo plane burns up. There was a plane that was in the sky that had an engine burning up. That was crazy. Captured by people with their cell phones on the ground. January 20th, Boeing plane in Atlanta lost a wheel. January 25th, Boeing to pause production for Quality Focus Day to focus on the quality control. So we can say that it was a maintenance issue. It's not Boeing's fault. It's an old plane. But what about all these other things? What about the brand new plane that lost the plug door at 16,000 feet? Was that a maintenance issue? Was that not Boeing's fault? Oh, nah, well, it wasn't Boeing's fault. It was a company they used to make the doors. The Spirit Aviation or whatever the company is. It's too much finger pointing going on. At a certain point, what all these things have in common, all these incidents have in common, Boeing. It's all the same company having these incidents. So at a certain point, we got to tighten it up. Tighten up whoever your third-party people are, your vendors giving you certain materials to use in your planes. Tighten up some of the quality control things. What they say, the escapes, the quality escapes, whatever they call it. Tighten those things up so there won't be so much of that in the news. If you're having a bad story like the door panel coming off midair, if you got that going on, all these things, even if it's not your fault, are your fault because they're going to compound the original negative story. That's how it works. So you got to tighten up and get it together. And the best way to not have all those things compound is to not have the big thing happen in the first place. You see, if not for the big thing, then it wouldn't be a big microscope on all of the smaller incidents that probably would not even make the news at all. You see? So that's what's happening. The maintenance is bad. Then you have quality control. You got a lot of different things going on when you're talking about Boeing and their planes. So yeah, they got to get it together. I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to say, but they got to get it together. Okay. Now, speaking about Bogota and whatnot, let's talk about the passport bros, shall we? We got to get into the passport bros because that's pretty important. Now, again, as I said in my video, I'm not the Johnson police. I'm not here to tell guys what to do with themselves. As long as you have two consenting, keyword, consenting adults, that's not my business. I'm not here to try and police anybody, but what I want to do is tell guys to be careful. Now, as far as the passport bros, a lot of you guys don't know what that is. I'll explain. Now, there's a movement online of guys to just travel. Really, that's what the main thing is, to travel, to have new experiences. And a lot of guys, they go to different countries to try to find love, or they might just try to have fun with women. They go to Colombia, they go to Brazil, they go to Thailand, they go all over the world for whatever the purpose may be. And guys have different reasons why they travel. Some guys just going for the women. Some guys want to engage in the underground kind of seedy lifestyle. That's what the lady boys or whatever in Thailand. Some guys have legitimate relationships with women. They are not trying to just be out there in the nightlife doing drugs, all that kind of stuff. Some guys are just trying to deal with more traditional family value women. Some guys want to start businesses. The whole thing, from my point of view, from what I always learned about the passport bros, is that they just want to escape the matrix, meaning the USA, and not be bound within the borders of the United States. That's the whole thing. The problem is there's a bunch of these guys online, the passport bros, that put out videos talking about women only and how much they cost. Like, that's their thing. I'm not saying that is what all these guys are about, not even large, but that does exist. And some guys will watch these videos and they'll say, yo, Colombia is the best. It's low cost of living. They got beautiful women, all this and that and the third. And they don't do any research. They just go to Colombia and they think, okay, I got a little bit of money. I'm going to go to Colombia. I'm going to go to Medellin, Bogota, etc. I don't speak no Spanish. I'm going to use my translator app and I'm going to get all the girls. And then I'm going to go on these dating apps and try to perform some some charisma on the young ladies because I'm American. I got money. I'm hot. What ends up happening is these guys are getting targeted by criminals because the criminals know these guys are green. They don't know any better. They are going completely blind, uneducated, and you shouldn't travel that way. The guys that I know who really travel and are really into the passport bro thing, these guys are going to get educated. They're going to know what's happening. A lot of these guys speak the language of the country they're going to. Okay, you got guys speaking Thai. You got guys speaking Spanish. You got guys speaking whatever the language is. Tagalog over in Philippines if they need it. You could do English over there, but these guys are really into it. They're not just weekend warriors trying to smoke crack or whatever. They are really serious, but you got some guys that are the opposite. These guys are going to Medellin specifically and getting deleted. At least 8 guys have been deleted in Colombia, and their deaths have been linked back to the dating apps. Here's what's going on with these guys that are irresponsible. And shout out to all the guys that travel responsibly and don't get into all the nonsense. Because, again, when I say passport bros, to those who hear about it, they think negative automatically. But that's not the extent of it. You got guys in any movement to do bad things they shouldn't be doing. But a lot of guys, they just travel and they mind their business and you don't hear about them. However, you got the other guys that think they're hot and want to be all out and want to do drugs. That's the people that the passport bros shun. Although some of the other guys in the community put out content that's geared toward the lower guys who don't know any better. You understand? But at least 8 guys have been deleted in Colombia, and it's been linked back to the dating apps. There's a 30% increase in foreign people being deleted in Colombia in 2023 alone. 30% increase in foreigners getting deleted. And these guys is everywhere. I was watching the guy, FedEx Fearless. Shout out to him. I was watching him, and he was not a weekend warrior. He lived in Colombia and speaks fluent Spanish. He was there for 3 years, living in Colombia, dating, nightlife, working his own thing with the YouTube or whatever. Might have been a trainer as well out there. He was really ingratiated into the environment. And he said when he first moved out there, it was not as bad as it is right now, meaning the danger and the criminality. And the criminality has risen because of all the influx of new guys coming in who are big fat targets that don't know any better. And then some are going to say, well, look, ABL, it's dangerous over here in America too. Well, FedEx Fearless said, yo, in Colombia, it's gotten more dangerous, but it wasn't like that before. And the danger is different. When you're in America, you know kind of where to avoid. You know not to go to no hood areas. If you're in a touristy area, just kind of watch your back. And something else that we have in America we don't have over there. In America, I can have my firearm on me. Like where I live in Tennessee, I think Georgia as well. I can have my firearm, no permit, concealed carry. So try it if you want to. I got it on me, allegedly. But you know, the accident was so tragic on the boat. All my guns were washed away at the bottom of the Tennessee River. They're gone. But if I had my guns, I could have it on me. So I'm protected. You can't do that in Colombia. You just out there with no gun. You are not knowing where to go. And the violence is different. The danger is different. Again, it's dangerous here, but this different danger over there. You go into a third world country, basically a narco state. You outside with an iPhone, okay, and the Rolex in Medellin, and this twilight is almost dark. That's an easy way to get deleted. That's an easy way to get deleted. When I was younger, I knew a woman from Philippines. You know, in Virginia, that's a big Filipino population. And she was telling me that if you have any kind of phone, this was a long time ago. This is before iPhones became a thing, really popular. This is back in the days of the Razor and some of them old kind of phones, right? Like the Motorola days. This is back then. She's saying if you are outside with any kind of cell phone, you can get stabbed and deleted in broad daylight in Philippines back then. That kind of violence is not what you see in America. You're not going to see somebody get stabbed up for an iPhone. Understand this, the poverty over there in third world, second world places is different than here. American poverty means you're 500 pounds, you have an iPhone, you're wearing Jordan basketball shoes, and you're driving the Mercedes-Benz. That's what poverty means in America. Poverty in America means you have food, clothing, shelter, iPhone, Jordans, you weigh 1 million pounds, you have all the food in the world, flat screen TVs. That's what poverty is here. Poverty over there means I'm living in a hut. I'm collecting rainwater. I don't have any food. Here you are, Mr. Gringo, with your shiny white shoes on and your iPhone and your cologne, and you stink. I'm going to delete you for your cell phone because I need that right now. That's the difference. And guys don't understand that. Rather than staying near the hotels and the resort areas, you want to go over there, try to get drugs, trying to do with the women, try to be in the more authentic place. You don't speak no Spanish. You don't know where you are. You have no backup. You by yourself. That's the easy way to get kidnapped and deleted over there. And that's what's happening. So it took for the U.S. Embassy in Bogota to say, hey, stop using the apps in Colombia because you're putting yourself in harm's way. And that's the difference between using the apps over here in America, dealing with our danger, and over there. It's just different. It's just different. So yeah, shout out to all the gringos. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you. Now, Filipinos are nice. But I'm saying crime is everywhere. Crime, there's no country exempt from crime. And listen, if you over there, you get all this money, they could see you coming a mile away. They know you coming. You got money. And they have literally nothing. There's no industry really. They might be in with the cartels, perhaps, if they can get into that game with the drugs. But beyond that, they have nothing. And a lot of the women in Colombia are actually Venezuelan because they come there to engage in the underground lifestyle. You think you're talking to somebody, some hot young woman from Colombia, you're going to have a good time on the dating app. When you get there, they're Venezuelan and their boyfriends or their pimps right around the corner. They're going to put a little something in your drink. You're not going to know about it. You're going to drink it. You're going to go back to the hotel room, have a good time. You get up in the morning, you in the pool of ice with your kidney gone. That can happen to you over there. So the moral of the story is please be careful because don't nobody got time to get deleted over in Medellin, Colombia. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And there was a story of the guy that was in the Hmong community. I know I'm saying that wrong. The Asian community, the Hmong, I think. He went over there trying to find a young lady. Matter of fact, I'm going to play that story right quick. Then we can move on. All right, hold on. I'm going to play some of this and I'll move on. And this is kind of how it happens. And they're going to show his girlfriend. Your girlfriend, a man. Okay, hold on. Let's watch this.
In Medellin, possibly linked to the apps.
I'm out of words to describe. I don't even know how I feel right now.
A situation all too familiar for the family of 50-year-old Tu Zhang, an artist and activist from Minnesota who we first reported on last month. He had been traveling in Colombia in December when he called his brother out of the blue asking for money.
This time he was like, hey, do you have a couple of thousand? I was like, yeah, no problem. When do you want it? He said, I want it now. I'm in this bit of a situation here. I go, yeah, I can do that.
Zhang's family telling our Minneapolis affiliate soon after he stopped responding to their messages, he was found dead. A local prosecutor saying Zhang was kidnapped during a date and killed when he could not make the ransom payment, and that his body was found covered in stab wounds.
I was confused. To be honest with you, I don't know why, what the motive is.
Zhang had visited Colombia in the past, posting photos and videos to social media as recently as October with an unidentified woman.
See what I'm saying? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Now, listen. Am I being judgmental? I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but see what I'm saying? See what I'm talking about? That right there skates you off the rip. If I see this long face on my dating app, I'm going to know right away that something ain't right. Okay? Your girlfriend a man. Yeah, that's definitely a man. But again, I'm not the Johnson police. So if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. It's okay. But that is the kind of thing that's happening over there.
My girl. The embassy's alert indicated officials do not believe all 8 of the deaths are linked and said they've seen an increase in reports of incidents involving the use of online dating applications to lure victims, typically foreigners, for robbery by force or using sedatives to drug and rob individuals.
Now, that's what's happening right there over in Colombia. And that can happen here in the United States, but guys, also what guys do when they go overseas, they let their guard down. They think that, oh man, it's all good. I'm gonna just have fun, have a good time. And their natural guard that might normally be up is let down when they go abroad. That's kind of what happens. Now, I'm gonna show this clip right quick. You guys, if you have ever seen this show called Atlanta with Childish Gambino, you've seen it before. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. And Donald Glover, don't give me no copyright, man. I know that it might not be in your hands, but don't give me a copyright, man. I'm going to play a little bit of this and talk about it every couple seconds.
You remember old 12? Your hair was brown.
Now, a little bit of context. These guys or these people are locked up. They're in jail and they get ready to get into their cell and stuff like that. Now, if you know about jail, you know that it's divided by gender, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
I remember. Honey, I was in a completely different space back then.
Nah, it's nice now. I like it. You always did like to switch it up.
Now, imagine you are in jail with him, you right in the middle of it, and this is clearly a man he's talking to, and he's just there like, okay, I got to listen to all this.
I can move if you want. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was wilding back then. You remember Larry?
No, it's Larry.
Yeah, Larry. You used to come around with Kevin. He went to Southwest.
I got to pause right here again because, pardon me, that's just what it is. This is Atlanta Season 1, Episode 2.
I think so. I remember Kevin. He was loud.
Larry came with us to the movies that time. I know you remember the movies. We used to get freaky in there all the time. Remember that?
Quiet.
Oh, no, that girl. You know we used to get it in.
Girl?
Yeah, where you stay at now? Hey, man, what's your problem, man?
No problem. I said, I can move if you want.
I ain't ask you to move, nigga. I'm trying to talk to my girl. You acting all weird and shit.
Now, I mean, come on, man. Like, some people, like you see, like on these shows, like Jerry Springer, they be like, oh, I didn't know she was a man. Really? You didn't know? For real? But then, let's hear the rest.
Yo, girl. Yeah, man. Yo, this is my ex, Lisa, man. We used to talk back after my mom's kicked me out the house, you know.
My nigga, that's a man.
What? No, man, this is my ex.
Your ex-girlfriend a man. Why you think she in jail with the men? She'd be on the other side. Nigga, you gay.
I ain't played the whole thing, but that is my reaction to my man that was over in Medellin with the handsome young gentleman. That's like, my man, you got 2012 Eli Manning right there at the dinner table. Like, let's stop playing. Got a tattoo right on the Adam's apple. Like, let's stop the nonsense. So, yeah, shout out to my main man. This was from the series called Atlanta on FX. There's a longer thing you got to watch. It was a really good scene. Probably one of the best scenes of the show. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, do I have more I want to get into? I think I do have more I want to get into. And shout out to you guys for being here. Let's see. I think I want to play a little bit of this Fani Willis situation. Yeah, I'm going to play some of that. Oh, I'm going to play this one clip of the Tesla going where it probably shouldn't go, and then I'm going to play some of the Fani Willis. Now, if you encounter floodwaters, I suggest you don't do this, especially in the Tesla. RIP to this guy's Tesla.
So there is an exhaust, it's electric.
What happened?
So there's no combustion.
That Tesla just
Yeah.
Now, RP to your battery. I don't know what could have been so important to go through water that's splashing up to your windshield. Like it's going way over your actual hood of your vehicle and getting toward the windshield is that high. I don't think it's really worth it. I almost got caught in the flash flood like this before on the interstate. It was crazy. Actually, I did get caught in it, but it wasn't like this. It was getting there though. It was raining so hard. It was like, what in the world? Is it coming to an end? It was like being in a hurricane. I was able to pull over at the Buc-ee's, which was right there. It was a perfect timing. And I was in a Toyota Camry at the time. That's part of the reason why I got back in the big truck, because, okay, if it's raining and I got to be on the road for whatever the reason may be, I need to have a vehicle that is not going to get caught up like this little Camry is doing in this flood. So, yeah, RIP to that Tesla. Is it a rental? Hey, you know what? It's like, hey, man, I didn't know. That's not my fault.
So there is an exhaust, it's electric.
What happened?
So there's no combustion.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm not driving my vehicle, my electric vehicle, in a bunch of water. I'm not going to do it. Hey, I know it doesn't have the combustion or whatever, and that's fine, but I think I'm good on that. I think I'm good on that. All right, now let's get some of the Fani Willis. Fani Willis, look, hold on. I got to find a clip. Speaking about Colombia and the cocaine and whatnot, remember Cocaine Cowboys and the guy, the really big guy who stabbed the guy in the airport, got caught up in the phone sex scandal? Remember that? And then that like killed the whole case. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Like, these people will put their whole career on the line for nothing. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can play the real one.
Makeup. I need it.
Oh, that ain't quite. It's like a little. That ain't really what I'm looking for. All right, hold on.
Right inside the house with the dead parents. They actually found the two daughters and the son.
Now, what I'm looking for, I think, is Rivi.
Papa, the thing we looked was the roof come out of the house. For me, $500,000. She said, yeah, but you have to get them inside.
So this guy got offered some money to hit somebody in the airport, to stab him in the airport, and he did. He got locked up for it. And when he was locked up, there was a phone sex scandal that kind of hurt the case. It hurt the case really badly. Let me see if they're going to show it.
She offered me $500,000 to the airport and stab this guy to death because I want to go to jail. Gotta get somebody else. She said, oh, I got somebody else. I said, who? It says Miguel Perez, Miguelito.
Well, Miguelito was kind of like Rivi with no class.
I mean, Miguel told me one day.
Oh, it was him. It was this guy. Yeah, it was a really big guy that did it. Went straight to the airport. Yeah, and just hit him in with a some kind of ice pick or something crazy in the airport. Rivi, yeah.
Miguel told me one day if the money was right, he would walk up to the White House and kill the president.
This is a picture that was taken of him shortly after he arrived here in 1982 on the Mario boat lift.
He was one of the scariest guys I've ever really encountered in my career.
That's when they got their reputation, the Marelitos. fearless Marilitos.
He was more physically intimidating. He was bigger than Rivy, stronger physically than Rivy.
So yeah, it was, I don't know if it was him or it was the other guy, but that's the whole point I'm trying to make. He got caught up in the phone set scandal, just like Fani. I got to find a clip where he talk about the phone set scandal specifically.
Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis facing criticism involving allegations of a romantic relationship with a special prosecutor that she hired. Tomorrow, a judge will hear a motion calling for communication between Willis and the federal government to be released. Steve Harrigan is live in Atlanta with the latest on that legal turmoil there. Steve.
Dana, this is a whole nother area of inquiry being opened up as criticism continues to mount against the DA and the prosecutor she hired. Already, the total for travel for Nathan Wade, that prosecutor, for 2 months in 2022 is more than $6,000. Some of those travel bills include plane tickets he purchased for himself and his boss at the time, DA Fani Willis. Plane tickets.
Now, this right here, what you're seeing is Fani Willis's lead prosecutor that she appointed in November 21, buying tickets for her in her name after he was appointed to the case. Now, the problem is this could be considered a kickback. That is a felony offense. As a DA, you cannot profit off of what you're doing beyond what you get paid. And she gets paid $200,000 a year as a DA. So why even do this? You can buy your own plane ticket. The reason why he bought it is because, hey, I'm giving you all this money. You buy it. You got the money. I make $200,000. I'm giving you $375 a year to be on the case and do nothing. So you buy the ticket. We're traveling together. You buy it. Now, I've traveled with women before, and this is what you do. Okay, you got the money. You buy the ticket, and it's in your credit card, but you put it in her name. So then all you got to do when you go to the airport, give her a ticket confirmation number. She can put it in the Delta app or give her a pass. When you get to the airport, she go to TSA, show the ID, go to board, show the pass, and you good. But it's all done under your actual credit card. You put it in her name. So then when she gets to the airport, everything matches up. It's not in the ABL's name. It's in her name. That's what he did. Now, why are you doing that? It's because you guys are together in a relationship and you're using the money that you got from her, from the DA's office, to buy this stuff with. And they were probably together before she appointed him.
To Miami, as well as San Francisco. Now questions about potential White House involvement in this process.
Doubletree, Napa Valley again. You going to the wineries in San Francisco in the wine country or whatever.
Prosecution, defense attorneys want to know about the meetings between Wade and the White House counsel, whether he was given guidance on how to prosecute President Trump.
I think it goes back to the essential defense that they have, which is this is a Democratic plot across the country to make Trump a victim, with baseless prosecutions, that they're all politically motivated. And the more information you can get about meetings between prosecutors, the more it plays to that defense.
And Wade's going to be back in court next week for his divorce proceedings. He's likely to be grilled in detail about his relationship with his boss, Fani Willis. Wade's come under a lot of scrutiny in the past week. His credentials are being questioned before being tapped to head the RICO prosecution of a former president. He mainly dealt with personal injury law and misdemeanors.
An ambulance chaser at best. An ambulance chaser. How you go from being an ambulance chaser to being the lead prosecutor on a case against the former president? You're talking about a precedent-setting case. You tap a ambulance chaser. Listen, Atlanta is not some podunk little place. There are plenty of qualified and experienced lawyers of all colors, black, white, or whatever, in Atlanta, in Georgia, that could have done this. Why bring on this ambulance chaser at best, night court, people's court, Judge Jerry Springer, Judge Steve Harvey at best? Why bring him on? It's because you guys are together and you wanted kickbacks. And I don't understand. Like, the Atlanta scammer high living lifestyle was so important, you put that above your actual job as the DA. You get paid $200,000 a year. Is that not enough to live the high lifestyle in Atlanta where everybody fakes anyway? I mean, good grief. Good grief.
Dana, back to you.
All right, Steve Harrigan, thank you.
Well, let's get criminal defense attorney and former assistant DA Phil Holloway, based out of Georgia. Phil, good morning. Welcome back. You're going to become like an expert in this for us, okay? Because we're trying to find our way through the maze. Where are we, Phil? And where are we going?
Yeah, well, good morning. Good morning, Bill and Dana. Great to be with you guys as always. Listen, we expect in America, we expect our prosecutors to bring cases into the criminal justice system based on objectivity. We expect prosecutors to be fair. Fundamental fairness is what is at the heart of substantive due process under both the Georgia and the federal Constitution. So this is why how a DA spends her money is important. As we know, Georgia is now the Georgia Senate, at least, is going to be looking into these things, how this money is spent, because as you heard Danny Porter in the reporter package just a moment ago say, this is all relevant to the motive that she has in bringing this prosecution. If
she's toast. She's toast. If they have any kind of, the thing about Georgia is that, you know what? Some are going to say, well, nothing's going to happen because Atlanta's blue city, whatever. Understand Georgia. You have Atlanta, then you have Georgia. Georgia does not put up with this. Atlanta does. When you got a big case like this, president's involved, it's not going to go well for her. If you have Georgia behind the investigation, she's toast. The case itself may still go on, but I'm not sure how if she's off and he's off, and the entire Fulton County DA is off. I don't know how it goes anywhere. I have no idea. If this was an Atlanta, just regular little case, little traffic ticket, something small, it's whatever. But when you put the whole Georgia in it, nope. Now we got a problem. A Georgia state senator calling for, now we're dealing with the entire government of the state. We're dealing with Brian Kemp and his people. It ain't going to go, it ain't going to go the way that some would say. Now, remember, some got upset because Brian Kemp said, let's not try to get her out of office right away. I think he knew this was coming. He probably knew because everybody knew. You don't want to play your hand too early and then wind up with a worse deal than what you could have got if you waited. Now, investigate it now, and let's get her out the way. If they would have tried to get her out of office before all this came out, it would have been a weaker case. You got to play smart and not just reactionary. But I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to my main man, Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp, also a very good governor. Very good governor. Brian Kemp, my favorite governors, and I'm a little bit biased because of where I live and my proximity to these places, but Greg Abbott, Texas, Ron DeSantis, Florida, Bill Lee, Tennessee, Brian Kemp, Georgia. Who else do I like as a governor? That's it. I don't got nobody else. There may be more, but that's pretty much the ones I like right now. I hear Doug Burgum is pretty good. Kristi Noem is pretty good over there in that part of the country where it's like 5 people that live there. I'm playing. But beyond that, I don't really know. Who do you guys like as governors in this country? Including and also excluding who I named. All right. Y'all let me know. Youngkin, you like Youngkin from Virginia? I like Youngkin a little bit, yeah. Shout out to you, Troy, from Temple, Georgia. Shout out, Temple, Georgia. All right. Well, everybody went there. Jay Baloo, Kent went to the WEF. So did your man from South America. So did the new president of Argentina. He went there too. Everybody was there. Why not go? Somebody said, what about Youngkin? Youngkin, people say that's a good governor. Not Gavin Newsom. Nah, that ain't who you want to, Venus says Mike Parson, Missouri. I'm not familiar with him. Shout out to him, though. I think I got a good list of governors. My list of my top 5 governors in the country. You got in no particular order. You have Greg Abbott, Texas, Ron DeSantis, Florida, Bill Lee, Tennessee, Brian Kemp, Georgia, and I would say Glenn Youngkin, Virginia, because I don't know anybody else number 5. I think that'd be a good list right there. Yeah, afuera, shout out to Eugene. Billy, your governor, Youngkin. Yeah, that's pretty much who are the best governors in the country. All right, we got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And shout out to you guys for the super chats. Thank you to Carter Benton Jr. for the laughing emoji. I appreciate you for that one, boss. Thank you, Michael Critchlow. I read that one earlier about the Republican Party chair, Jeff DeWitt, resigned for trying to bribe Kari Lake. Thank you to Not a Band Account, who says, will the Texas border fight lead to martial law? I'm not sure why they would call that, because that'd be more of a thing to impose upon the people of Texas. So I'm not sure why that would happen. But thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Concert LD, who says, my biggest problem with this Kari Lake audio is she knows who they are and she does not drop names. She knows who they are just as he does. Thank you to Wojtek, who says Alec was talking about technology in the context of the messiness of democracy, and he was seeking to somehow say censorship without saying it. Okay, that's why he was babbling and whatnot, because he was trying to say things without saying it. You know, the best way to express yourself is to be direct rather than indirect. When you get to be indirect is when you start stuttering and stammering and whatnot, but I digress. Thank you to Jazz Bass, who says San Diego and Orange County is red for the most part. All of the OG Samoans, Mexicans, blacks I know support Trump. Young whites, black lefties in California. Shout out to you, boss. Thank you to Rockvolution 2, who says it's we the people versus the establishment. Worst come to worst. Trump is the false prophet and the rapture occurs. Brace for an extraordinary year. Rockvolution 2 also says Greg, Brandon, and Eric mad at the Fed instead of caring about Koala Harris is crazy. Not Kamala, Koala Harris. That B, emphasis on the B, is a glorified party girl. Hashtag no slave life. They could avoid Tet, who says, sometimes I'm thinking they want to concentrate as much people as they can in the smallest areas possible and feed them bugs. That's the ultimate goal for sure. Put them on a train, eat the bugs. They could the Blockade MIT, who says, I went to mostly black school, had to fight on day one, never had to fight again. Just how things are. Revolution 2 says, ABL doesn't like hot curry. Shout out to hot curry. They get to Love, Live, Serve, who says, funny how Ackman formed a campaign against Claudine Gray, saying she's a DEI hire, plagiarized when his own wife plagiarized her dissertation. Smart how people know he did so because of her not denouncing Hamas. Yeah. Now, the whole thing about Claudine Gay, that, again, her past was dug into because of the whole anti-Semitism allegation or whatever. If not for that, then nobody would have cared. Nobody cares. At this point, you got ChatGPT, which is pretty much taking over. I mean, you had a whole company that got caught using ChatGPT. Speaking about Sports Illustrated, they hired a third-party company to write articles for them, and then the third party was using ChatGPT or something like it to write articles. Not only did they have ChatGPT or some other kind of AI instrument writing articles, they also had AI producing fake pictures and names of people. So it's a widespread thing that happens, but it only matters when it gets to a big audience and there's a lot of eyes on it. Okay, you're Sports Illustrated. You got this going on. Let's do a little bit of digging. Oh, here's this right here. Same thing with Claudine Gay. Okay, you got this going on. Let's do a little bit of digging. Oh, there's that right there. We get you on that. Same thing with what's happening with Boeing. If not for the door plug falling off mid-flight, then there would be no reports about the wheel falling off and that happening and that happening and that happening. Let's dig into what's happening, and we're going to report this, that, and the third. That's what's going on now. Thank you to Rockvolution 2, who says, Charlemagne versus Fetterman, Senate 2024, let it happen. That'd be crazy. Thank you to Lothair, who says, Trump is a scab. Biden is a third-degree burn from a dumpster fire. And Elon Musk has Asperger's, and his father disowned him. So, yeah, he really worked hard. That's correct. And Asperger's is autism, correct? Think it's a law there who says front wheel of a plane fell off because whoever was in charge was more worried about the pronouns than arguing on Twitter off the phone as them. Think of the law there who says, I'm trying to learn Japanese because I'm with somebody who lives in Japan. Do your research and be very careful and learn the culture. Exactly. If you don't have 2 words of Spanish and you're going over there and going off the beaten path, you're asking to get deleted. You're just a big fat target that they're going to take advantage of immediately and get whatever they can from you. And thank you to Tony Hay Munkits for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Now let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description to be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And if Skype doesn't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. I do not take responsibility. All right, let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. And if you got audio in the background before you call, please turn that off. Don't nobody got time for that. All right. And shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. 208, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
ABL, great show tonight, man. Great show. Really enjoyed the fact that you brought up the Kari Lake issue. I just got introduced to that today. But I think the one thing that stuck out most to me was they were talking about this 2 years. They want her to step down for 2 years. What have they got up their sleeve for the next 2 years? Why it's so important for her to step down for 2 years? That's what jumped out at me. I mean, we know they're crooked, and that's made clearly evident by that recording, but it just makes me wonder, okay, they've obviously got a plan for the next 2 years. What is it? Completely open borders? Is it just, like she was saying, another reason to take Trump down?
Good question.
I don't know. And then as far as the union thing goes, and I might be wrong, I can't remember, but I do remember one of the very first things that Biden did when he got in office was to shut down the Keystone Pipeline. And if I'm not mistaken, that's all union workers.
Good point.
I know I know it's not related to UAW, but I'm pretty sure that those are union guys. Do you know if they are or not?
I don't know, but if they are, that'd be a really good point, because that goes back to what I showed earlier. It was a Trump supporter saying that Trump is seen by some as a union buster, but there was more work for unions than ever before.
Right. And I did hear a disturbing thing. I don't know if this is true or not, but a guy that's in a union was telling me that when you sign up to vote, because it is public knowledge, that these union guys, the union bosses, they can tell which workers voted for Biden or voted with Trump. And that is pretty kind of scary right there. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. If the union president endorses you, do you have to worry about your job if you vote against, who the president of the union decided to endorse?
That's good point.
And then, one other thing, and then I'll let you go, is what's sticking out to me is these UAWs are forgetting one thing. Biden and his administration are the ones that's pushing for, all vehicles to be electric by 2035?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so what's that going to do for the UAW? I just think that they're mad dog Democrats, and short of detonating nukes in the United States, they'll just blindly vote Democrat no matter what, right down party lines. So anyway, like I said, great show tonight, ABL, and really appreciate you covering that Kari Lake story. I think everybody needs to share this video and those recordings, because that's just ridiculous.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep, appreciate you. Have a good night.
Same
Bye-bye.
to you. All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the calls. Keep on rocking and rolling here. 203, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Chris in Connecticut.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, good show. I just got a comment about the union things over at the pipeline that the other caller was talking about. I'm actually a UA union member, and most of us actually like Trump a lot. Now they endorse him and all that. We just vote how we want, but it did kill a whole bunch of union jobs. It was a pretty stupid move, but I mean, we all just kind of vote how we want anyway. And I make Trump stickers. We don't care,
right?
But it's still not cool what he did.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I would think that people want to vote for who has their best interests. So if I'm working a job and then the guy that comes in says, I'm going to cancel the thing that is giving you work and is feeding your family, I probably would not vote for that guy. So that's pretty weird for people to vote for the guy that's actively saying, hey, we're going to take your jobs. Just like when Obama and them came in, Hillary Clinton talking about, okay, we're going to kill coal. So if you're living in West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and you are dependent upon the coal economy, you wouldn't want to vote for that person.
Yeah, and another good point too is that the Boilermakers, a different union, they actually endorsed Trump because of the rhetoric that Joe Biden had regarding his energy policy, and they were smart enough, and they were actually had the fortitude to endorse Trump, just like the police unions did. And then real quick to touch on your governor thing, no one mentioned Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I think she's doing a good job down there too. Much better than our governor in Connecticut.
Absolutely. That's a great pick. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I forgot all about her over there in Arkansas. Shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Yeah, I like her a lot. And shout out to her dad, Mike. Good people from what I know. And shout out to you guys as well. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's go to 808. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. I really enjoy your show. I just started watching. I have a question for you. If Trump doesn't win, would you consider moving out of the country? And if so, where would you move to?
Okay. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'll answer her question. If Trump doesn't win, would I leave the country and where would I move to? I don't think I would. I don't think I would move. I think I would still stay here. Yeah, because truthfully, there's nowhere to actually go. The whole world wants to come here. It doesn't matter if it's Trump, Biden, or whoever. And I wouldn't like it if Trump lost. It would be a lot of work from us on a local level to keep things in order. Like what's happening right now with Texas. This is a prime example with Texas. Okay, if we had a better administration, Texas would not be dealing with this border crisis. But it's up to Texas, maybe even other states, to join together and do what they can to kind of counteract the federal government. That's a hard way to do it, and it shouldn't be like that. But to me, that's better than moving away, going somewhere else. Where am I going to go? Am I going to go to Europe? I'm not trying to go to Europe because they got their own migrant crisis going on right now. I can go to Africa if I wanted. Okay, I could kind of blend in. Oh, my friend, I know their accents and whatnot. Nah, I ain't gonna blend in Africa. I'm straight Oyembo over there. I know what that means. Shout out to the Nigerians. I'm Oyembo. I'll be over there like a whole white man, basically, because I'm an American. I would not be part of them. But I could go over there, but they got their own issues. So where would I really go that's better than America? Nowhere. I feel like being born as an American citizen, that's the best thing you could be born as far as a nationality, a country. An American is the best. So I'm not going nowhere. I don't care who's in office. My objective would be to just try to counteract whatever they're doing and fight for my country. But that's a good, thank you for the call. That's a good question. Okay, and the number to call is 434-658-1220. But yeah, no, I go to Nigeria. I'm a white man, basically. Yeah, I step off the plane, and yeah, I'm not one of them at all. But no, shout out to the Africans though. Nothing against them. Shout out to the Europeans and the Africans, South Americans. I know where I'm not going to go is China or somewhere like that. Oh, no. I'm not eating no dog and plastic rice. We ain't doing that. But nah, China's all right. My cousin used to go over to China to coach basketball. He said it was all right. It's just a lot of people over there. It's just so many people over there. India, even worse. 859, you're on. Who am I speaking to?
No. Hey, how's it going, ABL? Sorry about that. It's your podcast, your live streams in the background.
Right on, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just joining, listening to your show. When that union guy said that Trump's a scab, my reaction was like, no, Joe. Yeah, if he might be a scab, then Joe Biden's a third-degree burn from a dumpster fire. I'm like, come on, man. As soon as Joe Biden went in the office, like immediately he shut down that pipeline, basically made all those unions mad. Not only that, I mean, there was a law that Trump passed that made the insulin that we had, the supply a little bit more cheaper than usual, and he kind of cut that bill. And I mean, right off the bat, he took all the troops in the wrong time, take them out of Afghanistan, and caused a huge problem with that. Basically, we ended up giving a bunch of terrorists a bunch of weapons on accident, thanks to our leader or dictator Biden. So this man has failed us how many times? In the first time he got in, and people are scratching their head thinking, wow, I wonder why Trump is popular. Well, should be obvious. We had a better economy.
Exactly. Very simple. People they can understand how things were under one person versus the other person. So if things were better, why would I not say that? Got to be honest with yourself.
And look, I understand that there's some things about, Trump I don't like. There's some policies that he does, that the whole thing with Julian Assange trying to get him killed, I'm against. But we had a better economy. I remember one time I had a $3,000 bonus, and it was I think it was 2 months after he got in the office. He said he was going to lower taxes, and he did that. And when I saw my check, I was like, whoa. I was like, this was a big difference. And plus, also the whole the passport bros. Before you go somewhere, learn the culture, learn the language. And I promise me trying to learn Japanese is extremely hard right now.
Man, I can imagine. You got the characters and the tones and all that.
Oh yeah, not only that, also the culture is 360 different from here to here. And the girl I'm dating right now, she's over there, but I'm afraid that she might have a little bit of a culture shock. Same thing with me. If I go over there, I'm going to be confused. Especially I'm tattooed head to toe. And they view tattoos as being part of the Yakuza. So I guarantee you the cops will stop me more often than most tourists. Hey, man, I'm enjoying the show, man. Thank you for taking my call, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, Libertarians out. Talk to you later.
Right on. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. But yeah, Japanese, that's a language like that, a non-Latin based language, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Not at this age. You're on line speaking to 917.
Hi, ABL.
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, it's Corinne from NYC.
All righty.
I wanted to call because someone called in and asked you whether you would leave the country if Trump didn't win.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about that question that she asked, and the first thing that came to my mind is I have never, I live in New York City, so, I'm around a lot of liberals. And the people that I hear mostly swearing up and down that they will leave the country if the person they vote for doesn't win are Democrats. I've never really heard anybody. I've gone to Trump rallies. I've never heard people that are for Trump or non-Democrats say, I'm going to leave this country if my candidate doesn't win.
Right.
They usually are the ones that are willing to stay and fight for their country. They love this country. They're not anti-American. They want to protect the country and preserve it and try to fight. But yeah, most of the time I I hear Democrats swearing up and down they're going to leave, they're going to go to Canada or wherever, whatever nonsense, and then of course they don't leave because there's no place else to go.
Exactly.
So I just thought about that, and I was like, yeah, I don't really hear people saying if Trump doesn't win, they're gonna leave the country. I don't hear that ever. So I just thought it was kind of funny. But definitely on the other side, they're constantly saying that, and of course, they don't mean it because they never leave.
Yeah, they do. They say it quite a bit. So yeah, I think they recognize what I recognize, which is this is the best country on planet Earth.
That's right. They don't want to admit it, but that's what I hear all day, every day. Living in New York City, it's nonsense. Like they're just like they hate this country, but they never leave. They say they're going to leave. They swore up and down they were going to leave when he won, if he won in 2016. They didn't go anywhere, so it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you've done a good job tonight. Yeah. I just wanted to say hello and have a good Wednesday night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye, ABL.
All right. Good call. Shout out to the callers. Keep on rocking and rolling here. The number to call 434-658-1220. And let's go to 860. You're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Ranger Xbox. How you doing, Anthony?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Same old. Great show. Glad to see you're blooming with the followers. Wish you two step up to the plate and throw that plaque out there, so got something to look at there behind you on the wall.
Right, that'd be great.
Go right. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, come on, YouTube, get off the pot. Let's get on the ball here. Get it going.
Right on.
But Nikki Haley's just a Democrat. Switching subjects, and I don't want to talk about Boeing and the union president. He's going to vote for however the company wants, because the minute he becomes president, all of his family members get cushy jobs in the union. Then they become stewards and have super seniority, and that's how that works. And yeah, you can get targeted if you don't vote the way they like. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Anyhow, nothing really, Fani Willis is getting what I could like to call karma. Live in a glass house. Don't be throwing rocks. ABL, you have a great night. God bless America. Anthony, love the show. And I'll try to call you Anthony more, because I used to think I was just calling the ABL show because that's what you got it listed as. But you said you like being called Anthony, and I have to remember that. So you have a good night, sir.
Thank you for the call.
Take care.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. All right. Shout out to my main man for the call. But ABL is fine. I think I might have been talking about when I was saying people try to call me Tony. It's like, man, this ain't like, who do I look like? Do I look like I'm a soprano? Do I look like I'm about to go work for a sanitation company by day and then delete people by night? That ain't me. But nah. ABL is fine. So shout out to you guys for the calls. You guys are fantastic. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 253 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi there. I just want to make a comment on the Kari Lake.
All righty.
I don't think with the 2 year, I think it was to make her think, oh gee, I just need to wait 2 more years. That's not bad. But what they probably do is fly over to China and then wire her the money. So I think it's good for her to stick up for the values.
Right on.
Yeah, and that's it. Show.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to her. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go 504 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. So I wasn't in chat like I usually am because of some internet issue that's been going on. The weather has been very sketchy today. It's foggy, but I'm here, and I like the calls and the show. Very good. And yeah, so they were talking earlier about people leaving the country, and Yeah, I think I agree with like what you said, and Ronald Reagan said that if America falls, there's nowhere else to go.
That's right. I mean, people understand that even those that say they hate America and they want to leave, they never do, because they realize, okay, like, what's the better option? Just being intelligent is right here in the good old USA.
Exactly. And if you look at those, other countries, there are good countries in Europe, and there's a lot of cool places there. And also it is true, like in, England, that's especially the language barriers, like England and the UK, they would speak our language. Other countries know English too, but like it would be England, they're having a bad migrant problem. Also Germany and the rest of them, they're having really bad problems. And America, the good thing about it is it's really, in my opinion, decentralized, because like different states and cities can make different laws. And like in this pocket, you could have like a nice area, and then say in this big city over here, you have a problem, but it's like you could have more options here, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Because people don't really understand how big this country is and how we had the same language. When you go to Europe, it's actually very small countries that have different languages. Like, okay, you got the UK, and then some islands that are not that far away. That's called Sweden. And they got the whole different language. Germany is different, France, Spain, Portugal. It's all different languages, but it's not really that far apart, and they're not really that big. So people don't really understand what we have over here is a very unique and special thing.
Exactly, absolutely. And like, because my name's German, and I have, family from there, and I keep up with it. And the farmers were protesting over there, and it's the largest protest in 75 years. And they're having a lot of problems over there. That's falling apart, and all these different areas are having problems. And like I was saying before, I think that people don't understand how big it is. And I really don't think Joe Brandon will win, but like they would have to, like, in my opinion, cheat it, because I don't think that people would put up with, voting for him again if they did before. And I don't think people are going to really put up for this stuff for much longer. So I do think I would suggest people to stay and fight for this place, because when people want to say leave their neighborhood or go to this area or that area, that place could go down, and then this place goes down. And if they just keep running away, it's like at some point you have to face the problems.
Absolutely. Right on.
Yeah. And like Tennessee, that's a nice place. Like where you are, I don't think there's terrible things are going on in your area, in my opinion. Am I correct on that?
Like, wait, say that one more time for me.
Oh, okay. So like, I don't think you live in an area where there's a lot of crime and stuff, and say some other area might have crime. So like you live in a part that is good. So there's like different parts of the country that are
exactly
like, good that people could go. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right on.
Okay. All right. That's a lot to say, ABL. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Talk to me, man, for the call. I appreciate that. I was talking about Sweden being an island. I was talking about the islands that are like right there, meaning you could just float your boat from Sweden, like over Denmark, all of that is like right there, right across the water. That's what I was referring to. And we're talking about Copenhagen, which obviously that's Denmark, but it's right there across from Malmö. That's the island. But you understand what I meant. It's right there. Like the Vikings, what was that? Like y'all know what I'm talking about. It was all kind of conflict between them back in the day. And it was all type of, the point is, it's not that far away. You float your boat, you're right there. Germany, boom. Denmark, boom. Sweden, Finland, all of that. That's like the Nordics. It's all right there. And then Ireland, obviously, they speak English, but they also got Gaelic. What's that? Do you speak Gaelic? It's probably more English now, but they got their own little thing over there. It's way different than over here in the States, where we all have one common language, and it's not much of a difference in the dialect and the regional way we speak. Especially now with the internet, and people are becoming more internetized, so a lot of the regional dialects are kind of going away. But I digress. Let's go to 915 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 915, hello.
Hey, how's it going? Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Hey, ABL, it's crazy. I got on, man. That's cool. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. I love watching your show. This is Phoenix from West Texas, man, and just wanted to talk about your opinion on my experiences right here in El Paso.
All right, man. So let me know what's going on in El Paso. What's happening?
Oh, man, I live here in El Paso. My name's Phoenix, and like from my house, I could see the border, literally the border highway and all that. I could watch the immigrants come in droves to the gates, trying to get asylum and all that. But besides that, man, they've been running through my back ditch and hunkering down, and every other day Border Patrol's rolling through my hood, and it's just a little crazy.
Now, so when Trump was in office compared to when Biden was in office, when did you see things start to kind of go bad? Was it like all of a sudden overnight? Was it gradual? What was the change as far as the migrants coming over? Because I was in El Paso many, many years ago, like 2017, and it was beautiful. I didn't see any problems. So when did it start to become like the way it is now?
And, you know, to be honest, I've never thought about that. But now that you say it, after Biden got in office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much overnight, like after all that stuff started happening when he got in office and they started trying to shut things down, it looks like it got way worse, man. They've literally been in my back ditch right here in my house and all that. It's creepy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then are you seeing a lot of like Central Americans, or are you seeing everybody? If you see anybody, like what are you actually seeing?
They were from real deep south, man, like more towards what do you call it? Like Guatemala and things like that, man. I forgot what they told me, but it's crazy too, because I'll go to the corner store to get some a drink, and next thing you know, somebody's asking me for a ride, and I tell them no, and my next door neighbor gives them a ride, and he tells me that they gave him $80 for a ride.
Oh wow!
I'm like, how do they have money and better clothes than I do? I live here in El Paso.
Because they got money. They got money. Like the thing is, they come over here. You know how it is with the coyotes and everything. They got to pay them. So, people, the media will say, oh, they're so poor. They're coming from poverty. Are they really? I think they have money, and they're coming over here to get more money to send it back home or to put in their pocket here in America, or a combination of both.
Yeah, man, I think the same thing. And I always thought about when you said when you came to El Paso, I always thought about that. So, I was thinking about your opinion, and it's a little weird, man, and being here in the U.S., but so close to Mexico and all this going on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is.
But, just besides that, it's a little creepy. Just want to talk to you about that and see your opinion and what I should do about it. I try to arm myself and keep everything locked, but
I mean, you got the right idea. Definitely stay armed, because if they got money, they may also have weapons. You never know, because if they're coming across the border, sometimes they're not getting caught. They got gotaways coming right over. So you have no way of knowing who has what or what's going on. So, yeah, definitely stay armed and just be vigilant. And I don't know what else you could do aside from leave, because the border is right there. It's not going anywhere. And as long as Biden's in office, it's going to be a battle between the federales and Texas government, El Paso city government. And what is El Paso? What is the mayor saying about it? City council? Is anybody saying anything about it locally in the government?
No, not too much, man. They opened up a lot of churches for sanctuary, and that's what the riots are being asked for. And they're just hunkering down more over towards downtown in the streets. Literally, it's getting packed. And another thing I want to tell you about, I just remembered one time I was watering my grass in the front yard, and it was a couple months ago. And a group came up to me, and they started talking to me in Spanish or whatever. And the next thing you know, they started asking for a ride. I told them, no, I can't. And then they got aggressive on me. Like literally started to chew me out and tell me that I'm a bad person for not giving them a ride. And I just couldn't believe it, man. And even right here on the border freeway, the signs going down the street to say, be careful. Instead of saying be careful, it says watch out for unexpected pedestrians.
That's a good way to put it. That's hilarious. Unexpected pedestrians. What you say now?
I always joke around saying instead of saying unexpected pedestrians, they should have a sign for them saying watch out for unexpected Ford F-150.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Well, anyway, brother, yeah, it's a trip, and I really appreciate you. I'm going to keep listening, and I don't want to take too much of your time.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You have a great night. I'll keep watching.
All right, now. Appreciate you.
God bless. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the man for the call. Hey, El Paso, love El Paso. Nicest people, super cool, super relaxed. Love it. Right there on the border of Mexico between, you got El Paso, and then right across you got Juarez. Ciudad Juarez City. It's right there. So they're coming across. But, the crazy part, it's also military base right there, right on the border. This is an intentional thing by the federales to prevent from doing any kind of border patrol. And there's a wall right there. So you got to ask yourself, how are they even getting across? They're probably going around. It's literally a wall. They're coming around. And they're not letting the military even intervene because military is right there. Border patrol is right there. It's crazy. So shout out to El Paso. Hopefully they're able to get everything tightened up. 317 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Tommy W. I just wanted to ask you about a couple of things. First, did you see that video of the former ICE chief saying that this whole thing is done by design, that there's never been a president who's purposely insecured the border or unsecured it?
I've not seen that video, actually.
Okay, yeah, because he's outright going on stage for, I think it was Congress, saying this is done on purpose, and he's the worst ever. And he worked for 6 different presidents. Wow, that says something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The other one was they saw independent journalists down at the border, right where they were crossing. They see these guys going through the side where the razor wire was, pushing the side, going through the regular entrance there, and going. One of them goes to him, "Hey, where are you from, and who are you?" And he goes, "You're gonna know who I am. If you were smart, you would know, but you're going to know soon." And it turns out that this guy, like, while he was making a threat there, the guy's like, "Oh, you're entitled, huh? You're threatening me? What's this?" They found out 2 days later this guy is the leader of the Azerbaijan terrorist organization, and now he's in the country somewhere else.
Yeah, I saw that, and I played that video earlier, but I don't know if that's him because they said they couldn't confirm it. But from my point of view, it looked just like him. If it wasn't him, then I can't tell.
Well, I understand that, but he's saying that he's going to do something that would get everyone's to know him by being on the news or whatever it is. It's pretty clear he's not there to make amazing discoveries or medical advances. He's making a threat, and you can guarantee that he's not the only one that slipped through those places.
Right on.
And then they said that the Border Patrol in this one video, they're being told, "Hey, ask them what pronouns they have so you don't offend them while you let them break in and commit a felony by just jumping over the wall."
Right.
What do you make of all this?
It's a lot going on, man. I think it's all by design by the administration to keep the border open, as the person that you said was talking about, and it's definitely an issue we got to really be vigilant about.
And that other guy, I think it was in California, I think it was a 74-year-old man. There were cartels running stuff on his property, and he shot one of them defending himself, and then they arrested him for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I got to check it out.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like a thing like, well, you can't stop them from coming in, and now you're going to go to jail for defending yourself. Well, what do you do? What does an average person like us do?
Just got to be in the right place, I suppose, to where you can have the best ability to protect yourself.
Yeah, well, it's at the point where I think it's just like, well, you're probably going to go to jail anyway, no matter what you do. At least defend yourself. And I hope World War III doesn't happen, because this is just like insane, and this is like done. But I think the best thing everyone can do is just stay vigilant and make sure, hold everyone else accountable, call things in, share them when you see them, and raise awareness about this stuff. That way, the people who are responsible for this, whether there's people are watching them, calling them out on this.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, hey, Bill. It's Danny. How's it going, mate?
Everything's all right, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, everything's sweet, mate. Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Great show tonight, mate. Great calls.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So I guess flying isn't the safest form of traveling anymore.
Hey, man, it's a little sketchy out there.
Yeah, because when I spoke to you last time, it was like, I was talking about, I thought flying was the safest form, but I guess not anymore. What, you got doors flying off, wheels falling off. I mean, what next? Female pilots? I mean, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, man, I think you're right. I think it's just down to incompetence, isn't it? I mean, when they're maybe doing their health and safety checks when they're building the planes, or if it's just trying to build things quick and get it out. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, man, I can't even really. I think that there's a lot of it's other things, other priorities going on aside from the safety. Maybe you got diversity issues. Maybe you got money issues. Okay, maybe it's cheaper to get things out a little bit quicker and cut some corners than it is to take your time and really inspect things thoroughly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's the most logical conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as well, yeah, I'll be quick about the do you know the passport bros in Colombia? I mean, there was an experience in my family a long time ago where my cousin, who is full Spanish, he was born here, but he obviously, when I was a kid, he must have been in his early 20s or mid 20s. He visited Colombia. He was just a tourist, just on his own. And I mean, he could pass as a Colombian, but again, these people can see you from a mile away. They can tell if you're a local or if you're a tourist. And he got robbed by a few people over there, and they pulled out some guns on him, pulled him into an alleyway, and just obviously robbed his camera, robbed his, his phone, his money. Pretty much took everything off of him. And I think when you do go traveling, you can't have this mindset of I can go anywhere I want and everything will be all right, because you just never know where you're really going, and you never know who's watching you. Because I think when you go to certain parts around the world, especially Colombia, I mean, there are probably no-go zones in Colombia where I think tourists shouldn't go, and he must have gone into a place where tourists shouldn't have gone, and he's lucky he got away with his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, so obviously they must have just again spotted him from a mile away. Had his camera around his neck, walk around taking pictures, and that was it. You just get pulled into an alleyway and you get everything taken from you. And so that's the only sort of I guess advice I have for people traveling, especially try not to travel on your own. I guess if you can, try to have someone with you, and obviously it'd be nice if you was packing as well, but I guess only the criminals can pack, and that you can't obviously have guns on you, can you?
Exactly, that's the thing. That's the difference. Like, people in America, we have the right to bear arms. We have our guns on us. We can conceal carry, but in Colombia you can't do that. So you're just out there kind of at the mercy of the locals, basically.
Yeah. That's the thing, innit, about sort of us over here. We'll never get it back. I mean, we had a little taste of it a long time ago, and there was an incident in a school, and that's it. I think that's the thing about rights and these sort of things is once it gets taken, I mean, you're never going to get it back, are you? Really? That's it. It's done, right?
Yes, it's a wrap. It's done.
Like, I don't know what the process would be for the UK to try and get like a Second Amendment like America. I don't know what would happen. I don't know how you do it, but I don't think it would ever happen.
Yeah.
And I'll be quick. Is it right if I just give my quick opinion on who I think should be the VP for Trump?
Go for it.
Like, I know I don't live in America. I'm not acting like I'm not an expert. It's just my opinion from what I've seen. And, I really think, I really like Kari Lake. I really like the way she handles herself. And I do kind of like Vivek. I just like the way they handle the press. And I kind of feel like who does Trump need as a VP? Like, I feel like he needs someone to sort of help deflect all the negativity and all the, and all the hatred that comes from the media and comes from everyone. And personally, I like the way Trump handles the press, because he's really blunt and he kind of just doesn't hold back. And personally, I like that. I know a lot of people don't. And they kind of say that, oh, it's the fight, it's divisive. And I don't think it is. I mean, the media are the ones who are divisive. He's just saying it how it is, and he's just speaking his mind. But I just like the way Vivek and Kari Lake, they kind of handle the press. They kind of do it in a more, more professional way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like he needs someone to sort of deflect all the garbage, basically, and that way he can maybe get down to business. And And I felt like that was Vivek's plan all along, wasn't to actually win the presidency. I think he knew he wasn't going to beat Trump. I think he just did it as I guess, a big advertisement to get his name out there, to get so maybe after Trump obviously has done his last term, maybe his name's out there now, and maybe I'd have more of a chance of actually winning the presidency then. Right, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about anyone else. I kind of like those two. I just like the way they kind of handle themselves, and they don't seem like they're they don't seem like easy sort of targets, if you know what I mean. They kind of seem like they know how to handle themselves. But I don't want to take up too much time, ABL. Thanks again, mate. Great show. Take care. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right, see you, mate. See you. Bye. Great call. Shout out to my man for the call. 773, you don't line. Who am I speaking to? Little slow to the trigger. All right, well, shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Just keep on going here. Let's go. 773, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. ABL, let's be clear about what's happening. This administration has done nothing short than treason with the border. It's treasonous what they've done. And they're telling you, so the whole reason that they took the razor wire down was because it's making it difficult for us to let the immigrants over, these illegal aliens over. That's what they're telling you. The vice president said it herself. She said that she wants to put more resources to the border, and they want to make a path to citizenship. You know, to them, the border is secure, because their idea of securing the border is to go down there with resources, with more people, to orderly bring people across the border. That's what they've been doing. That's what they want to continue to do, to go down there and have an orderly way to bring the people across. And they are teaching them how to get services and all kinds of aid. Once they're here, we have to take care of them unless you push them back across the border. They should have never been able to come across the border. And here's the real treasonous part, and the part that, for me, as a retired law enforcement, God knows how many terrorists that we've let into this country. You think our enemy is stupid? They saw that it's an open border, and they would have been foolish, and I don't think they're fools. They would have been foolish not to send people and to cross our southern border into our country and organize in different cells across the country to do some other kind of terrorist act. They don't have to fly a plane into a building anymore because they're already here. That's what it is. They're able to be here. They could do all kinds of things. One of the things that they would do is attack schools. Could you imagine if, 50 schools were attacked all at once at the same time in this country, across the country, or maybe in every single state? What kind of victory that would be for a terrorist organization, that they blew up a bomb in every state or went into a school. It's a treasonous thing that they've done. And they've done it, and they tell you why they're doing it, to give these people a path to citizenship. They want these people to vote so they continue to stay in power. That's what they're trying to do. And I don't know why they've been so successful at doing it. Maybe because they're in power right now and he's the president. But we need to get somebody in here to right our ship. And that person, to me, is Trump. But we need somebody here to right our ship and to do the right thing. It's ridiculous, ABL, what's happening to our country right now. I'm beside myself with what's been going on. We need to secure our border. We have to do it. We're letting people in unvetted. We don't know who we let in. Simple as that. Anyway, ABL, thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, that will be a wrap for me. The 3 hours just went by, so I feel like I just sat down, and now it's already over. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. If you are on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. And if you don't know, this is a podcast available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, etc. Link for all these will be in the box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But that will be a wrap for me. So shout out to all you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. I'll be back again live on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, shout out to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. Shout out to all you guys for being here. I could not do the show without you. I think I have some more super chats, if I'm not mistaken. I got a couple here. Shout out to Tony for giving out 5 ABL memberships. I really appreciate you, boss. But that will be a wrap for me. I got more videos coming out. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of good content. So you guys, please check it out. Tell a friend, and subscribe to all my other social media platforms. I'm on Twitter. I'm on the Insta Snaps. I'm on the Facebooks, all that good stuff. And of course, all that will be in the description on my website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find all my contact info right there. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.